Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our penultimate broadcast for the Rainbow Six U.S. Nationals Stage 2. Over the last 5 weeks, teams from all across the country have been fighting to qualify for the LAN, and now we finally have it down to our final 4 teams, 2 from the West Coast, 2 from the East Coast, and they'll each be clashing tonight and Thursday. Here with me on the desk this evening is Veli. Welcome back, Veli. How you doing, man?
What's up, man? I'm doing great. We have a best of 3 coming up. It's the gauntlet, okay? 4 teams coming in, 2 teams are coming out, and we have the best of the best here in Stage 2 so far. I'm ready to see what's about to go down.
Absolutely. Tonight is all about the West Coast Finals, and we'll talk more about the teams that'll be jumping into it in just a minute. You can see them there before you now. It's going to be Rogue, Team USA themselves, who came close, but unfortunately fell a little bit short in Stage 1 of making the qualification and now sit in that very same position once again. Can they get over the hump this time? We'll have to see.
I hope so, because there's a few teams that have struggled a lot. One of them is Dark Zero. Rogue, as Team USA 2018, man, they've been getting that work lately. So hopefully they can pull through and get this win. The Rogue fans, they really want it for you, so make them proud.
Before we get too deep into the discussion of tonight's matchup, that we do want to be encouraging you folks to be signing up for our Venmo clip contest, the Venmo Community Spotlight. At the moment, we're giving away $700 every single week in prizes. So be sure to submit your clips, save them. Can be anything, can be funny, could be disappointing, could be exciting. Let us know and send us your clip. Make sure to add the hashtag Venmo Community Spotlight to the clip when uploading it. And of course, make sure you go to the link down below here to submit the clip at esl.gg/Venmo-R6USN, where you can submit your clips in the form as well as find all the necessary rules for the contest.
And also, it's very important to also notice that this is the last week until Stage 3 to submit those Venmo clips. So if you guys want to make money, I know you guys like money, go ahead and submit those clips. Make sure that they're in, let's say, before the Eastern Conference game this week.
Yeah.
Get them in early, man. Get them in early, please.
Definitely make sure to be getting those clips in before the shows end for the week. As we show them, are the winners, I should say. We show off every Monday on our Inside the USN broadcast, which you can catch over on the Rainbow Six YouTube channel every Monday. And this week will be the last week of that as well. As Stage 2 will be closing out Stage 3, we'll be quickly approaching, though, and that'll be in the middle of September is when the cups will start once again, and you guys can sign up for those.
Yes, sign up. This is the last time. We have a lot of quality teams that will be in there. I'm pretty sure we're going to see EG now that Gio got his visa. Whichever team fails this week, they're going to be back. So don't wait until the last minute to enter. It's free to play, free to enter. Do it. Do it. I want to see those brackets full, okay?
All right, guys, well, let's take a look at the rosters for tonight's teams now as we move into the discussion of the bracket for this evening, or really just the one match that we have. Rogue stepping up to the plate. First, Team USA themselves, who failed to qualify back in Stage 1, making it to the conference qualifiers, but unfortunately falling short in their final matchup. Still the roster you know and love, though, being brought to the table. A very tactically sound team. Not as much, though, in online matches. They've been, a little bit hit or miss here, and this is where a team like TSM might be able to knock them out.
They could actually upset them, but you know what? We have to put some respect on Rogue. They're an amazing LAN team. They're some LANimals. But online, like Blue said, they struggle, man. They struggle. They're so inconsistent. It's either they're really good or it's like they're really bad. You never know which Rogue you're going to get each and every day. But TSM, this new coming team, amazing organization. Let's go ahead and take a look at the roster. We're going to have Achieved, Bolo, Biologics, Crazy, and my man Merc. Merc was filthy. You guys caught our recap show that we did on Monday, where we spoke about Merc essentially not losing a gunfight. Not losing a gunfight at all. The man had a hot hand. If he can keep up that type of heat tonight, Rogue, they're going to have a lot of issues.
That's the big question for TSM's performance for me as well. Is can Merc pull off as confident of a performance as he was against Disrupt? And I think the answer to that, personally, is probably going to be a resounding no. But I'll reserve my judgment until we actually get into the match to see that.
Okay, you usually don't give away any personal opinions on a matchup like that. So it's interesting to hear that. Blue is excited for this matchup, by the way. So I'm excited to see what maps we're going to go to as well, because this is not a best of 1. Though that's out the way. We're going to do a best of 3. And yeah, we're going to jump right into it. Let's see what bands have been.
Got a lot more boxes tonight, folks.
We're
going to get them all out of the way. So that's going to throw us right onto Kafe for the first map, being picked by Rogue. Okay. Coastline will be our second map, picked by TSM. The tiebreaker, of course, the last remaining map, going to be Clubhouse. And that's going to make for quite a matchup. Interesting that
Why?
It's interesting that TSM are okay on Kafe. Like, I kind of get it considering their qualifier match, specifically the one that they played against SSG the other day. They seem to have a pretty good performance. They're a bit of a shaky one though, and one that you may not want to go up against Rogue for, considering this and the fact that Rogue is currently just overall undefeated on this map.
TSM, what you doing? You don't take Rogue to Kafe. They tried it at DreamHack. You saw what happened. Rogue held the trophy at the end of the day, and Kafe should be an insta ban always against Rogue. I don't know. My brain isn't working right now.
We didn't see the graphic for too long to be able to break down the necessary order that ban would have gone.
First,
I would imagine that they traded the bans in a way though to where they each got a relatively confident pick, because you saw the record for Coastline as well, which is TSM's pick, and that's looking like it's an incredibly strong map for them just in the stats department. So both teams have pretty one-sided maps. So we're going to have to see how that plays out. In the meantime, though, you've heard enough about what we think of this matchup. Let's see what you thought. And what if you think TSM is going to end up taking this one? Not incorrect to think so. We'll have to see how it plays out, as of course best of threes make everything a little bit more trickier, and 62% of you think TSM is going to win it. We'll see if that holds true. So we're going into the first map now.
This is actually the fastest time we've jumped into the game, and I'm so excited. So ladies and gentlemen, for those of you at home, the best viewers in the world, the USN squad, we're going to jump into map number 1, Kafe, Team Solo Mid, and Rogue. So jumping right into the Operators ban phase, we're going to jump right on board with the TSM. They're going to be first up. Let's see what they're going to take out the game.
Kafe, of course, still the newest map to be added to the pool, so a lot of things still being figured out with how teams want to play it. Some parts of the map being pretty similar to the previous version, but other parts of it pretty serious changes, and Jackal is going to be the first one knocked out. This is a map where roam presence can be used quite heavily, and obviously Jackal is, well, anti-roam for the most part.
And it's a huge map. There's a lot of hiding places, and if you have Jackal off the board, I mean, you get 2 smokes out the way, and those Inox won't be available to get rid of your roamers. So big play potential coming from TSM as they start on defense first. And Capital, he gets banned as well. He's great at clearing out balconies as well with those asphyxiating boats.
Really great with just assisting and execute. It's more whether you have the capability to add him to your roster that decides whether you use him or not, but he's been a pretty common ban. Defender bans have been pretty static over the last few months, so I wouldn't expect anything out of the ordinary here. Mira being one that we pretty much expect to see on essentially every map in the pool, with maybe 1 or 2 being the exception. And the final one, Maestro, also aligns with very common trends among pretty much every team in Pro League CL here in USN as well for the most part. Although for some reason we see Echo be left in a lot more on USN specifically, and this game is obviously going to be no exception to that.
All right, so I agree with the Maestro ban, because Maestro on the second floor is actually ridiculous, especially when you pair him up with Mira. Mira's setup on the second floor is unstoppable. It's unstoppable. Like Habana, your Thatcher, getting close enough to get rid of those windows, there's nothing you can really do. So getting her off the map along with Maestro is easy. If Echo's on the board, you can bring IQ. As long as she stays alive, you can shoot those yokai drones. You can pop them out the air. So I agree with the 2 defender bans. They're really smart. But off the bat, Gridlock, she's going to get swapped out for IQ. So let's see what Eclipse has in mind. He knows that Eclipse is going to, Echo is going to be on the board, so he's going to be a direct hard counter for that operator.
You'll notice as well the nice little meta play we had with the 6 pick is obviously there's a bit of a cat and mouse game that's played between IQ and Valkyrie, trying to bait each other's picks out so that the Valkyrie cams can either be countered or, well, be effective if there's a lack of an IQ. And this time both the Valkyrie and the IQ will get 6 picked in, so they will very quickly find out. And unfortunately the Valkyrie cameras tossed outside will have a very short lifespan, if they will be used at all, now that Achieve will probably figure this out relatively quickly.
Yeah, one thing I want to point out for those of you in the chat, if you don't pay attention to, every single detail about, Team Solo Mid, you're wondering, where's Pojo Man at? Pojo Man is Canadian. He doesn't have a...
North of the border, that's where he is.
Yeah, he's
right where he belongs.
North of the border. Yeah, we got the Canadian out of here, man. Go back to Canada. And he doesn't have a visa, so he cannot participate in the USN program yet until he gets that visa. So in the meantime, Crazy will be filling in for him. And as you see, he is one of the hard breachers and support players on this roster. He's actually been really good when it comes to filling in that role. But TSM, their turnaround started once Pojo Man came onto the scene. The team started clicking. They've been on another level. I really love what Bio brings to the table along with Merc and Bolo. And this team, they're just so well-rounded now. Their experience is starting to show up. Is they're starting to get more and more games under their belt against the Tier 1 teams in the scene. But here we are on the rooftop. We have pretty much a party. It's going to be 3 players on attack. and droning out already and looking around bar. Vertical's not going to see a head to pop, so he's going to rotate over towards red stairs.
We're going to see how Rogue in general plays this. Rogue usually takes a very methodical, almost very static stance to their attack, so it isn't necessarily a bad thing. At the end of the day, it means that they end up being very composed, unlike a lot of other teams, like TSM, who plays almost the opposite, which we'll talk more about that when they get onto their attacking side. But Rogue taking some quick control upstairs, or at least trying to. Unfortunately, this third floor always seems to be so hard to battle for even the smallest room of control for your attackers.
Bio has a player right under his yokai drone. Being patient, he's not going to go ahead and stand that player just yet. He doesn't want to give away position, but shooting out a few drones is going to be Merc. His aim is already top notch. But moving in behind bar, they're waiting for the attack because in Christmas, it is completely locked down by Rogue. They got in here pretty early as well with a minute and 20 seconds to spare.
The little drone shuffle that he ended up catching is actually going to deny a whole lot of intel. I would imagine those drones were still trying to move closer to the site to get further intel. In the meantime, Achieved, I believe from below, is going to be able to find Slash, knocking the first kill of the round. A second will be found by Bolo right at the top of the white stairs as he finishes off Vert going down, and it sets the team up for a 5v3 advantage.
Over on top of white stairs, he's still aiming down the sights, waiting for the next pick. But having Thatcher and Thermite taken out the game is pretty big. Now you only have one hard breacher. You don't have Vertical there with his EMPs to help you out, but they still have the gunpowder to slay out to even the odds. The ADS going off, a nade was currently destroyed midair, and Achieved aiming down the sights, gets rid of easily, but the refrag comes around, and Eclipse is going to get the 2K. Achieved and Merc is sent to the graveyard, leaving just 2 players left for Rogue and 3 on the side of Team Solo Mid. This is clutchable. They can do this.
23 seconds, though, is going to force Rogue to make decisions that they may not be ready to make. And unfortunately, that could lead to mistakes that could cost them the round. We'll see about this in just a few seconds, though, as unfortunately, the threat of running out of time is going to force them to execute. And like I said, it'll put them into situations they're just not ready for. One player goes down. A trade comes in from Shuttle, but can he find the last 2 kills in time? No, he cannot. Biologic will shut him out, and TSM claim the first round of the map.
All right, so I don't want to say this because people said I'm biased towards Bolo, but Bolo locked it down on top of white stairs. I mean, from the moment we hit halftime, Bolo peeked up. He was able to get 1 easy kill for the first kill of the game. He picked up 3 total in the same spot, in the same exact spot. He didn't move an inch. So great positioning by him, great map awareness. If I'm on Rogue, I don't know. You need some type of intel given, some type of drones, cameras, whatever you can get to be able to call that out, because you keep walking into his lane of fire, his line of sight, and he's gonna gun that player down. So hopefully they attack that better next time. But jumping into round number 2, let's see how Team Solo Mid are gonna go ahead and defend this. Yeah, Vigil on the board with Merc, so I want to see his roam play.
Like with any map, I think things for the attack are going to get easier as the defenses stretch to that second and potentially even that third site in their rotation. And I don't think Kafe is any real exception to that formula for the most part. That overall attack that we saw from Rogue, just the denial on TSM's side was so strong. They were able to waste so much time as they were stuck in piano. And unfortunately, they just couldn't really get beyond it due to, as you saw, a lack of drone intel. Merc taking out like 3 or 4 of those drones in just a matter of a few seconds, killed their ability to get any intel on the sites. They didn't have the confidence they needed to just blindly push into bar and then make a play from there. That combined with obviously a lack of time towards the end really messed them up and killed their chances of winning out the round. So TSM take a strong stance, and now we'll see if they can do it once again on the first floor.
We saw right off the bat that she was able to throw out a Vault Cam to see what side of spawn they're coming into, but immediately throwing out his last one on the first floor. He's going to retreat all the way back to his teammates. Hitting that barricade, he has a person right underneath him. Not sure if they heard him yet, but going up on Repel. It's pretty much Rogue doing what teams always do at the beginning. Scope out for roamers, gather some intel, then you slowly move in. You start top to bottom, and you make your attack for the bomb site. But now, 225. All players left on the board so far. Eclipse throws out a drone from Skylight. Immediately gets shot out, but Bio is waiting for that one jump down so he can make that play.
So much like a lot of, kind of lower floor sites on a lot of other maps, this is no exception to the rule where you do need to have a pretty active presence from your defenders, even upstairs. And at the moment, TSM trying to do it with Merc and achieved a pretty good job of it as they deny a little bit of control, but ultimately players like Shuttle are going to be able to drop in through red stairs and start taking control of Cigar. You've got that double shoot that we're going to see Buck try to go for. A nice snipe from Vert as well. Catches Merc before he can lock onto him. That'll lead to a 1-for-1 exchange as Eclipse was lost somewhere else on the map, making it a 4v4 overall.
That was one of the best kills so far in that exchange. Taking out Eclipse, that means that IQ is off the board. Bolo, his Yokai Jones is going to be unmatched, period. They won't be able to track him down with IQ. They're just going to have to pick him up out that sky if they're able to see it, which is going to be extremely hard due to their cloaking device. But Bio, if he plays his cards right, aimed right down, looking at this window over near train, he'll probably be able to pick up a kill or two. But running right past, he loses a little bit of health. And Slash Hug, he's going to pick up the headshot on Crazy.
Advantage over to Rogue. Now let's see how they finish it off. This is where they failed the last time, is getting onto the site, but already they've got a lot more control to work with. Just have to try and flush the players outside of trains, and they'll pretty much have the control they need to safely execute from downstairs as well. And that part's going to be a whole lot easier. Biologic, what are you doing? Thought he had it killed dead to rights, but no. Slash ends up just getting his second, and that'll clear it out easily with another one. Brings it down to only Bolo now in a 1v4 situation. Locked to the inside of the kitchen. Not really any room he can maneuver with either, as unfortunately he's got broken ceilings all over the place above him. If he goes to the wrong position, may not even be able to see his opponent before the bullet's thrown into his head.
Yeah, with the self-destruction, he's still trying to get a shot down, a little bit of pre-fire through the walls, unable to connect, and he's a sitting duck right now. Bolo at full health, 2 Yokai drones in his way, and yeah, he's gonna pick up the first kill. A headshot on Vertical, and being attacked from another side from Abana, he's able to pepper in a few shots and able to clutch it as he looks up, and Slash Hug finishes the job. Roll. They're gonna go ahead and win round number 2.
Can appreciate the attempt for Bolo, but basically at the end of the day, an unlosable situation for Rogue. Just had to get enough manpower into the site to outmaneuver Bolo and take him down to be able to trade that back. A little bit slower this time. Well, actually, no, generally the same speed of attack from Rogue, and it works out much, much better due to them getting those earlier kills.
So, this map is heavily defender-sided. Rogue was able to pick up a win on their second attack round. If Rogue is able to win yet another round on attack, that's going to be huge, because that momentum shift is going to be real once they go on the defensive side, where they're extremely strong. So Doc coming into play for Bolo. We saw the gunplay coming up. My personal opinion, I felt like he should have definitely killed Abana. But on Doc, he's going to go ahead and finish that job this time around. It's going to be an interesting pick now that Echo is off the board. Yokai drones didn't come into play big time. So they're going to lean heavily on Bolo's fragging power, his outright raw skill.
We'll see how well that plays in for them. Guys like Merc haven't really been able to step up to the plate too much either. He had a great opportunity to close it at the one white stairs in the last round and unfortunately didn't win it. But I don't want to make any harsh judgment about that just yet. It's really like the first or second direct engagement we've been able to catch him on stream so far. So I'll wait till later rounds to talk a bit about that. But it's still something important to pay attention to, considering what we talked about in the pre-match, just how dominant he was and how easy he made their game against Disrupt seem, just last week.
Yeah, Crazy being on smoke, that's really going to be the real hardcore anchor that Team Solomid are currently using on the second floor. Crazy's going to have to stay alive way longer than he did last round, and I believe that he can do it. Crazy's job on this team isn't to be aggressive and have pretty plays, especially with the shotgun in hand. His job is just to sit there and spawn. Wait, throw those toxic babes, stall out the attack as long as possible, and hopefully his teammates can rack up some kills so Team Solomid can go ahead and win their second round. But on the rooftop, once again, clearing things out. Drone comes through from Slash Hug on bar, unable to see anybody just yet. The bulletproof camera is overlooking bar. There it is. He finds the first victim over there in Christmas. It's going to be all about the execution now.
Start to try and ice these players out, of course. As usual with Rogue, it'll be a relatively slow process. They have no problem at all running the timer down and trying to play much more into an execute style attack. We're going to continue to see Slash try to bait out a little bit of noise on Repel here, in addition to looking for his opponent on the re-Repel back upstairs. One Black Eye camera is going to be knocked out, and Merc, much more ready to take the duel this time. Oh, finds the first frag there against Vertical, but unfortunately failed to realize, or just forgot, that Slash Hug was holding the window, and as a result gets cut off trying to rotate back.
With a C4 strapped in hand to Chief, he definitely knows that right above him at that hatch, there's a player or two. Little does he know that there's going to be 3. And with the C4 going up, yes, he's able to get easily with a nice toss. So, currently a 3v4 in favor of TSM. The attack currently coming through over near Cigar with a nice spray. Bio's going to connect. Shuttle gets taken out swiftly. It's going to be a 2v4. Minute and 10 seconds left on the clock. The attack is still coming in slowly but surely. But holding down a long line of sight is going to be Bolo. Little does he know to his left over near Bar. It's going to be easy kill if he looks that way. But Bolo's going to be able to get the headshot on Eclipse. He's going to get taken out as well as Bio picks up the last kill. And TSM, they're going to win. Round number 3, 2-1.
Much more effective roaming presence that time coming out across the board for TSM. Made the round seem a lot easier for them, as thankfully only had to play into that 3rd floor. Never had to worry about players needing to retreat. Just because they were never really out of position. Much better on the positioning game this time from TSM, and much better selection of fights in order to close that out before Rogue even got close to the site.
All right, round number 4. Let's see what they're going to throw at him. We're going straight to 3rd floor once again. It seems to be the bread and butter so far for Team Solo Mid. They lost 1 round, and that was down in Kitchen, but so far they're undefeated up here. Rogue still looking to pick up their 2nd win. Let's see if they go ahead and tie things up. And taking a look at the operators in play, it's pretty much going to be the same thing still.
Rogue really struggled the last time they played onto this round with getting past Christmas. Basically got easy access to that room, essentially as it was gifted to them by TSM. But due to the reinforcement setup and the long haul leading to White Stairs along, which is the general setup to deny bar access, Rogue just never could really seem to get to their execute point and failed in that round as a result of it. Maybe adding a little bit more White Stairs pressure this time may give them what they need. We'll have to see how exactly they change up, as I doubt the same attack will yield many results, but we'll find out about that very, very soon.
So the one thing that's interesting, take a look at the operators for TSM. Okay, so we see a little role change. Bolo is going to be on Legion instead of Echo. Bio is going to be downing Echo this round, so that allows Bolo to run around and utilize his gun skill to be able to pick up a kill or 2, especially using those goo mines to track opponents on Rogue. The goo mines, they can be used as little intel devices. One pops off, you know exactly where a player is coming from. But already Verticals lining his side up for a headshot. It's going to be a player to the left of that window, but the peak won't be there. He's going to be in his vault camps, and yeah, he's not going to try that. Bio, he's going to stay put right here behind Bar. Hopefully he does a great job as Echo's going to see if he can do something that Bolo couldn't do usually. But Bolo has had a hot hand, so this switch up pretty much makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I'm curious to see as well if TSM's aggression is going to pay off here. If you kind of judge it from the match they played against SSG in the Rally qualifiers the other day, their defensive aggression was a little bit hit or miss, and it led to a very similar situation that we had back in like the comparison between last round and round 3 and what happened in round 2, where sometimes they would over-aggress, kind of give up too much in the early round, then it would just make the round a cakewalk for the attackers, and other times they just really like rock-solid setup on defense, and the attackers can't get anything going, so it's really hard to judge which way it's going to go. It's looking like this time it's starting out pretty well, though. TSM's achieved. He's able to find Shuttle. Again, I think it's from that stairs position potentially that he finds him at.
Wow. Okay, so you have a C4 kill coming from him. Bolo was able to get a shot down on Vertical, taking out one of Rogue's top fraggers. And Bolo in his favorite position, holding down White Stairs. With the goo mine, able to tip him off if Rogue seems to come from Christmas. We all bet he's going to aim down the sight to go ahead and try to pick up yet another kill, but Rogue, they're being weary when it comes to going down that angle. Habana's moving in towards Bar. A little bit of pre-fire coming in. Rogue, they're not sure what they want to do so far. You see a drone come into play.
It's more so the fact as well here that they're really hard set on a strat and don't seem to want to vary from that too much.
3 times in a row now.
Yeah, I mean, in general, this is like the safest way to attack upstairs, but as you're seeing, they're trying to work for downstairs control too, and because it wasn't their priority in the early round, they're now having to try and establish a kind of sweep formation, but they just don't have the time to do it, unfortunately. So they try to make it a haphazard play upstairs again. Slash going to get cut off as a result of that. Bolo will continue to thrive on White Stairs as he finds his 2nd or 3rd kill in the round right there. And now the remaining 2 just don't really have the manpower to cover the necessary ground that they need to take this site. So it's going to be really rough to see any kind of clutch come out of this one from Rogue.
Yeah, Rogue are pretty much hard stuck. And Mert picking up a headshot easily. That's going to leave Rogue in a 1v5 scenario. It's the Eclipse on IQ. Moving closer and closer. He's able to pick up a kill before he gets taken out. It's going to help out his KD just a tad bit, but TSM, once again, they win big time on defense.
These upstairs holds are looking really strong from TSM, especially with the weighted aggression down the white hallway. really denies everything from Rogue. And you could see it was as well, especially later on in the round. We didn't get to check it out too much in the early round to see if they were attempting to take second floor control and eventually get something maybe towards like white stairs lined up for themselves.
Yeah.
But in the late round, they did try to do it. I think it just was a little bit too little too late. And unfortunately, they kind of got stuck in the same position over by Christmas that they did back in the first round as well.
I mean, to give credit to Rogue, they're getting down to Red Hatch pretty fast. They're getting into Christmas area pretty fast as well. But every time they do that, someone gets a C4 kill. Bolo picks up yet another kill. Rogue, they're always down a player or two by the time they get into Piano or Christmas. And when you're down so many players that early, I mean, that pretty much goes enriching your strategy. So Team Solomed, they're pretty much setting up the pace by getting those fast and early kills the moment Rogue steps foot onto the third floor.
And they're probably going to try to do that once again here on first floor as well. This is where, however, they messed up before. The defense was spread, I think, almost too thin, that they tried to play both the second and the third floor back in that round, or at a minimum, they tried to extend all the way up to the third floor, and that's where their roaming defense got spread too thin back in round number 2, and ultimately where Rogue was able to win it. So we'll see if they make the same mistake here on the first repeat of this since they lost this back in round 2.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because the last time they played this site, I remember the visual play coming from Merc on the third floor. He was a victim of the first blood. Once he went down, it was pretty much a domino effect. Team Solomed, they only had Echo on site down low, and once everybody died, Echo can't use a yokai to help himself out, especially when it's a 1v4 scenario. So Bolo tried to fight his way out for the clutch, and it just wasn't there for him. So let's see if they learned their lesson. And kicking things off already. A little bit more droning. Clear out the second and third floor. Rogue, they're going to go right back to the roof. See if they can pick up a roamer on the way to the bomb site.
So the setup once again is going to put a lot of yokai presence just on the site, trying to delay this for as long as possible. And that's the key, is trying to stop the attackers, and Rogue in this case, from getting access to mining along with the trains, where you do have a lot more destructible floor to play with in the new version of Kafe that can give you a bit more room to look down below you.
Taking their time slowly but surely. There's going to be, what, 4 or 5 players on this roof right now? Yeah, it's definitely a party.
Like I said, execute heavy team when it comes to Rogue on their attack.
It's definitely a party, and yet down goes the first man. There you go. One by one, slowly but surely. They all move in towards Piano, giving time for Team Solomed to go ahead and rotate around. You see Achieved, he was on the third floor, but he moved all the way down. Ran away to safety and still clearing out the third floor. There's been no encounter yet. Minute and 30 seconds. It's been a lot of time wasted just getting down that hatch alone. Yeah, the droning was helpful because it drove them away.
It's a bit worrisome though, the fact that they still have to, go through 2 more floors. They've only got a minute and 20 seconds left. Now, to be fair, they can just kind of evacuate out of here and re-aggress downstairs and go for a pretty quick attack through something like Bakery if they wanted to. I just don't see that as necessarily likely, but I mean, there's a couple players leaving, so at least one of them is going to try to rotate downstairs from the looks of things, as Vert's making a run to try and quickly drone out Bakery now. Yeah,
Plan B is in full effect now that we have under a minute left, and holding on to the stairs is Mew. Team Solomed, they're still holding on strong, not given any challenge whatsoever, but Achieve tosses up a Nitro Cell, and he's going to barely miss it. But with soft destruction in that floor above him, or so to say the roof, he's trying to see if he can see someone peek out, but Merc is going to be able to catch Eclipse on the stairs.
Merc as well can just completely deny access to Garage here for so long now, just because he has that threat of presence. He doesn't even necessarily need to stay there anymore. 25 seconds left. We're no closer, at least as far as we can see, to the execute there from Rogue. And Rogue are continuing to drop players out one by one. Bolo with the most recent find against Shuttle. What is Rogue going to do?
15 seconds to go.
Try to force themselves on the site now that they wasted about all this time.
Not going to work.
1v5. Oh, easily got a kill, so there you have it. Nice headshot on Crazy, but hey, there's not enough. Bolo's going to clean up the kill. I believe Bolo's, what, 9-3 right now? Marcio, what are the stats so far? He's been doing so well on defense. Yeah, 9-2.
9-2.
Yeah, he's been solid. And I really love the role change on third floor, and it allowed him to excel, especially as Legion. So Team Solomed currently up 4-1 here on Kafe. One more round until the swap.
Rogue putting a lot of emphasis on their defense right now. We need to start seeing something for them on attack. Otherwise, this could be a very quick map number 1.
And this is interesting because me personally, I love Rogue when they're aggressive, when they're predicting the pace. I'm not predicting the pace, when they're forcing the pace on their opponents. And that time around, it took them more than a minute and 30 seconds just to jump down Red Hatch. By the time they got down to Red Hatch, you saw 2 players, they stopped and turned around and jumped out the windows to go first floor. They're like, hey, we don't have enough time left. We have a minute left. We haven't even cleared out the 2nd floor. We cleared out the 3rd floor, didn't even get into one gunfight. What are we doing? They tried to change up their strategy mid-round, and Team Solomid had a near-flawless victory, winning 4-0. So, let's see if they can end this side strong with the 5-1 finish.
Yeah, you almost want to make a call out to question whether the in-game leadership was following the time correctly.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, where they kind of like panic rotated 1 or 2 players downstairs to try and start a bakery clear when they got to that minute and 20 seconds. Obviously, we're not in the comms, so we don't necessarily know these things, but it just seemed very weird how they didn't necessarily seem to have that plan B being established until very late in the round, and even when they executed on it, it didn't really seem like it was all that well put together.
All right, so let's see what happens. Coming out from Christmas Market, it's going to be Eclipse, bringing out my girl Gridlock. Let's see what those track singers are going to do. Grabbing his drone, and he's going to work his way over to the top again. Hopefully Rogue, hopefully they're more efficient when it comes to this attack. But Blue, I don't know. I want to see more dynamic strategy from Rogue when it comes to attacking. We know that this is one of their strongest maps, but they're running into a brick wall when it comes to getting on 3rd floor and just creating that type of dominance against Team Solomid. Team Solomid's spacing when it comes to Rogue's pressure has been fantastic. They keep their distance, long line of sights, goo mines to stop them, vault cams to point them out, and they stay safe for the remainder of the round.
TSM's done a great job with almost having a hook, line, and sinker approach to kind of baiting in Rogue. Yeah. Because at a minimum, they trap them upstairs a lot of the time. They've kind of been giving over Red Hatch control along with Christmas control in quite a few of these rounds. And what that's done is that's locked a good amount of Rogue's roster to the inside of that part of the building, and you don't have an easy way out unless you go out the windows and rappel or just drop down all the way. So I think once a few of those players are locked in, they're very committed to a part of that strat, and they don't have an easy way to turn it around again. And that's been messing them up quite a bit when they've been focusing on upstairs takes. This is a great example of it right here.
There's really strong gunfight happening on 3rd floor right now, and Bolo is Doc is going to heal up Achieve, a little stem shot, help him out just a tad bit. But Achieve is going to hold this angle down strong. Am I peeking him? He's filling with danger vertical, but Slash Hug is going to finish the job on Bolo. Nice headshot. Make that 2 in a row for Rogue. There you have it. Strong start. Looking to pick up their 2nd win on attack. It's going to be all about execution and finishing.
Boxed in for the most part here as well, so impressive that Rogue are able to get these kills. It's a good start in the round for them, but again, time is going to become their enemy very, very quickly here if they don't start to turn this back around. 50 seconds left to start that defusal timer. If they don't do that, then it's just going to be another round for TSM, and they'll go up to 5. Shuttle finally striking gold on the skeleton keys here, but still not able to line up the kill. Misses the opportunity by a moment. Merc trying to figure out how he wants to handle these stingers. He'll swipe a few of them away. They're so annoying to deal with, though.
So loud.
No one's noticed him yet, so it's working, at least for the time being. But in the meanwhile, he's going to lose another one of his teammates. Bio ends up going down. Slash will move in for the finishing blow in just a second. There you are. And now only 2 still standing. Merc still trying to wrap here. Might be a bit of a late gesture. And Crazy, who's now out of the round.
10 seconds left.
I was going to say, there's no way he didn't see him. Merc's able to pick up a kill. Crazy picks up 1 as well with the Toxic Babe. 3 seconds left to go, and Rogue, they're looking to close out this round, and the diffuser's going down. It's going to be all about...
Oh, he just can't see him.
Oh, Merc! Oh. He's able to get it, body and vertical, to win the round.
No one challenging him upstairs at that point either, so he had all the time he needed. Was questioning, I think, whether he actually saw the player on diffuser or not, but he must have seen him just by a hair and assumed the plant spot. Perfectly played by Merc. That's that pre-aim from the DG game that we were talking about. Really crazy stuff from Merc that seems to indeed be getting carried over a little bit here.
This map awareness is out of control. Merc with an amazing finish in a game that Team Solomid should have lost. Rogue, they should have won that round, and with the late planet tip, they had no time to pick up the diffuser and have at it for a second go. So with the side swapped, we might be able to smell a little comeback. Rogue starting off on defense now. They should be able to rack up a few wins to try to bring this back up. But take a look at how the rounds have ended so far. Pretty much slaying out. The last round ran out of time as Merc was able to pick up that headshot through the floor. But see what they have under their sleeves on the defensive side of things.
Yeah, so again, you got to give props to TSM's roaming squad. Did an absolutely fantastic job that entire side on defense, specifically in that last round. Really making my case when I was talking about the example of how they were able to trap players from Rogue's attack on the inside of Christmas and Red Hatch. And that, again, happened. They were able to delay potentially like a minute or more and just have them waste a bunch of time with only top red stairs control, not even really any second floor control to work off of, and the inside of Kitchen. Just brought them down to a minute, and ultimately Rogue was kind of forced into rushing at the end of the round once again. So really good stuff from TSM.
So that was my question. Rogue started off the game hot by getting 2 straight kills in, first minute or so. And then, once again, they were battling with time. And they had to force their way down there with the Sophia push from Slash Hug. So, Rogue, execution has to be better next time on attack. The team solo mid. You see my man Bio, he's going to be on Dokkaebi, his operator of choice. We've seen him on Dokkaebi a lot recently, and that shot is so precise with him. With the ability to hack cameras once he disposes of an enemy member. He'll be a very important operator on this team. A little bit of drone play coming in from Mert. Pretty much quiet so far. Seems like everybody except one on the top floor for Rogue.
Once again, have the attackers get easy access to the inside of Christmas here. It's going to allow for them to walk in with relative ease. Also, as you can see, red stairs control, very, very similar to what TSM was doing on their own defensive side here. But again, is it the trap that Rogue have now set up against TSM? And is TSM going to be able to battle their way out of it? At least in the case of Merc, that will not be the case here. Shuttle is going to end up going down to just under 25 HP, but he will survive the encounter as he falls back to the wrap at White Stairs.
As Merc was scoped in, we saw him in a very unorthodox spot, right by the doorway, but crouched. He was able to pick up that kill, but Bolo is going to avenge his teammate. And with the Nitro Cell coming up, it's going to be 2 for Rogue so far this game. Pretty strong start, but kicking up a frag grenade and throwing it towards White Stairs. Oh, that was such a great attempt, but the ADS was able to defuse the frag grenade midair before it took out that player that's currently on White.
So, down into an even 3v3 we go. Time also starting to get a little bit low. Hatch, however, successfully opened to get them inside of Freezer. Now they've got to try and work at a great angle for it achieved. Can't get the kill, though. Only knocks out of a 25 HP from the Valkyrie all the way across the way. Still an okay amount of time, but TSM's hand is going to be forced in the next 20 seconds or so as we go just under 50 now.
With the ping out there achieved, he's able to call out a player that's currently hiding behind hard wall, but he has a teammate with him, and with a few flashbangs coming through, I wonder if they're going to... No, they're not going to make the play. Eclipse is able to win that gunfight. With the trade coming out, Bio is able to dispose of Eclipse. 30 seconds left to go. It's going to be a 2v2. Let's see which duo is going to be better in this engagement. Yeah, Crazy's on top. Crazy finally arrives in this game, getting a 2K with a nice headshot to top off the round.
Bio really the only thing keeping TSM in that round with regard to trades at the end. They're unfortunately just not able to find that lineup, as Crazy himself has full intel, full awareness of where those last few players from TSM were working their way in from.
All right, so this is it. Map point, Rogue. Is Rogue really going to lose on Kafe? That's going to be a big blow, man. This is Rogue's, like, they're undisputed, one of their best maps. They won a LAN being undefeated on it. Last time these two teams matched up, Rogue won 7-3. Let's see if Team Solo Mid can start off hot, winning map number 1 in such dominant fashion.
It's going to be upstairs again. So TSM with like really solid aggression that we've seen out of them over the past few rounds. This on top of the fact they were able to get a lot more control over the site. Makes their attack work out at the end of the day there. That on top of, like I said before, the good trades coming in from Bio that kept them alive throughout a large majority of that round and kept the trades rolling to eventually allow them to close it out.
All right, so looking at the stats, Bolo on top, 10-4 behind him. It's going to be Merc, 6-4, and Bio doing such a great job at 7-2. This team, they're so efficient when it comes to their kills. They're playing the game slowly. Not reckless by any chance, but the way that they're able to hold down lanes has been second to none so far, and Rogue have not been able to fight back to beat them in those type of contests.
Camera activated.
But working third floor, this is it. We need perfect gameplay coming from every single one of these players. And it's a huge blow when the player who's been pretty much quiet the entire round, excuse me, the entire map, comes up with a 2K to win a round last round. So here it is. This could be it for Kafe.
Crazy stepping up to the plate. Everyone on TSM showing up where they need to here to make the difference and allow them to close out. You've got a Clips going for a little spawn peek right there on an MPX.
Little style points.
A lot of confidence at the moment from TSM. That could be dangerous though, so need to rein that in, guys. We got 5 rounds to play with. That's correct, but that could turn into 0 real quickly if you're not paying attention.
Do you think Rogue could really pick this back up?
Realistically, no. But there's always a chance.
There's always a chance, but you know what the good thing is, guys, for the newcomers in the stream? This is a best of 3, not a best of 1. So even if Rogue loses this map, they're hoping that they don't. They can fight back and try to win 2 maps in a row to win this series to go to LAN. The winner of this game qualifies for the U.S. Nationals LAN later this year. I'm still waiting on the announcement for location, by the way. I can't wait.
Either way, this is a huge deal if we see TSM win it 7-1 right now, as up until this point, Rogue were flawless on this map.
That's going to be a blow mentally. And I always look into the mental factor when it comes to these matchups with these gamers, because you beat a team on their best map, especially 7-1. Rogue, I mean, I doubt they're going to be pointing fingers at each other, but they're going to doubt themselves. And you don't want that heading into map 2. You don't want that short-term memory. Using a breaching hammer to knock out that barricade. Cheat was able to see some gunfire coming this way, so that intel was noted. A little bit of more drone work coming through. We only have 1 minute and 20 seconds left. Seems like a little amount of time, but it's definitely a lot. With an exothermic charge currently coming up. Let's see if TSM can go ahead and pick up this first kill.
Crazy on point right now after he's blown the wall open, but we've also got Bolo still working for control over on the outreaches of the site. He'll pop open the window so the Biologic can start to lurk in and deny that player from being able to find impact. And Merc, in the meanwhile, he's going to be able to strike, find Slash, takes out the Doc from the round. Same situation. They've got those walls open. They've got the positioning they need in order to execute, but same as before, they've only got 50 seconds left. And now, some responses from Rogue. Well, only one right now. Shuttle taking out Crazy. Besides that, Achieved finds another pick on Shuttle. Another attempted peek from Rogue is punished by Bolo. He just cannot seem to lose these duels this evening. Down to Eclipse and Vert. A nice attempt from Eclipse to find a C4 frag, but it's off the mark. Only knocks out 75 damage from Bio. And now Vert as well going to be caught, leaving it all on Eclipse in a 1v4 situation. Boxed out as well. Finds that first kill. Had a lot of intel to play off of from a cam, but it won't matter as Merc trades it right back. TSM dominate and give Rogue their very first competitive loss on Kafe since its re-inception. So they absolutely destroy it 7-1.
That was a heart-wrenching loss on the side of Rogue, but Team Solo Mid, man, that game was strong from them. Although the way they applied so much pressure along with the logic bomb play coming in from Bio. But Merc, obviously one of the MVPs for this team. Him, Bolo, and Bio definitely fragged out. Crazy did such an amazing job as a support hard breacher as well. With that 2K to win the game, I mean the round, that was big. So, Team Solo Mid, the winners of map number 1, and we're going to jump right into map number 2 soon. So, what are your thoughts of that matchup so far?
Yeah, I mean, not the greatest showing from Rogue.
No.
Unfortunately.
Wake up. Wake up.
Like, ultimately, we'll talk about their attack primarily, as that's what we saw for the most part. Very static at the end of the day, and it's never necessarily a bad thing. As that means they play like they have a very set game when they go into rounds. They seem to have a plan. They don't really want to diverge from that, but that problem unfortunately came back to bite them in a very big way. As they were unable, like we were mentioning at halftime, they were unable to often get access past pianos, past the Christmas room, and since that happened, unfortunately, they just never really made the progress they needed to finally execute onto the site, and oftentimes TSM stopped them when they were only halfway into their overall plan. And they just didn't really seem to have the variance to bring to the table in order to fix that issue.
Well, even though the strategy was static on both sides, Team Solo Mid executed better. They both came down red hash. They both went towards Christmas, but it's all about execution. Team Solo Mid, they utilized the logic bombs from Bio to go ahead and ring off the cell phones. Once the buzzes came through, all of the audio cues came in on Team Solo Mid's side, and that's when they made the pushes, especially after the Thermite hard breachers to go into bar. So I would say execution was on the side of Team Solo Mid. They executed quite well.
I think at the end of the day, Team Solo Mid just had the better fraggers today as well, which it's like a very general statement to say this, but if you watch the way that they were taking duels, like the confidence behind it, the general method that they were using in order to take fights, TSM, you know, by far none, especially if we see stats for this later on, it's going to show you that the TSM was the more aggressive team and usually ended up winning those aggressive engagements far more times than Rogue did in the match.
I felt like it had to do with the early kills and the stubbornness from Rogue. I mean, how many times we see players one by one go ahead and challenge Bolo when he was on top of White Stairs.
Yeah.
It was often. It happened, I believe, 2 to 3 rounds. And it comes to a point in time where it's like, okay, you know, we have to try something new. We can't attempt to continue doing this one by one. You know, hey, maybe we peek him at the same time. Maybe we take another route. Maybe we have someone flank from underneath him while we push from up top. We didn't see anything else, and you know, their plan B really wasn't a great strategy at all.
Nice.
Hopefully they can pick things up, map number 2. That was such a nice finish.
The other thing as well is we didn't really see that. You were talking about the aggression we saw from TSM, but players like Bolo and White Stairs, you know, trying to take direct duels against players down that long hallway leading into Christmas. We didn't really see as much of that from Rogue.
No.
Rogue seemed a lot more passive in their regards to trying to take duels like that and left it much more on trying to counter the XQ. But again, TSM is just so strong when it comes to taking those fights and more like right here with Bolo in a really aggressive situation. They just seem to thrive in those circumstances far more, and Rogue unfortunately just never really had the change-ups needed to throw TSM off their own game and ultimately allow them to pick up a few more rounds towards the end of it.
Yeah, I agree. So third floor pretty much dominated by TSM, and let's take a look at the post-match stats. Sorry, I can't talk today, man. Merc on top for his team, 7-4, 3-1 entry. But Achieved was also undefeated on his entries as well, going 2-0. And like I said, that was TSM's bread and butter. They were always able to get the first kill, and the refrag didn't always come through for Rogue. So there were times when Rogue got into Christmas and they were already down 1 to 2 players. And that was it. There was nothing else they could do.
The cost tells the real story there as well. We're talking about how like a lot more of their players were being more aggressive, being more unpredictable, and I think that cost stat spread really shows it between 60 and 90% on average among all 5 players. Whereas with the guys on Rogue, it was very split up. You had very low numbers. I think someone was only at like 25% or something like that. To be fair, they only won a single round, so the cost stat's going to be a little skewed for Rogue overall. But I think it just gives you a very good picture for how active TSM was and how frustrating it probably was from Rogue's perspective to deal with the probably like almost random aggression that was getting thrown at them from time to time. Yeah,
so next map, we're going to be going on Coastline, and Rogue is a perfect 5-0 on both Consulate and Cafe this season. What?
Not anymore.
Not no more, buddy. The Rogue fact, you need to update that. So going into Coastline, that's also a really strong map for TSM. The last match for USN, Merc earned a 14-5 KD. Yeah. Merc, that was when he didn't lose a 1v1 gunfight. Like I said, man, Merc is daddy.
And like to be fair, like while we didn't see that same performance from Merc, we did see a very close version of it, and a version that I think we were going to see against Rogue, assuming TSM were going to do well. They've done very well, and now we're heading on to their map pick for round number 2 of this matchup, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to see if TSM can get the quick closeout, send us out of here early this evening, and give us a 2-0 finish, or if we're going to have a response from Rogue, send us to map 3. It's a good map for them, too, so this one could go either way.
I want map 3, man, but Jackal gets taken off the board by TSM. And let's see who the secondary attacking operator is going to be in regards to being banned. Yeah, I want to see a map 3, man. I don't want to see a 2-0. Not at all. All right, with the clock winding down, Capital banned once again. He's been a victim of bans ever since his buff, man.
Same band so far.
Yeah.
Let's see if we get the full repeat on the bans here. If we get Mira, or 3/4 of the way there. Oh, they shook it up. And Echo instead.
Okay.
Mira will probably be the last ban, though.
That's interesting. So Maestro most likely gonna be in play if Mira's banned?
Oh, no.
Okay, okay. So there we have it.
That means you can actually kind of play Penthouse now.
Yo, yes, you can. Yeah. So it's gonna be a pain playing against a hookah setup with Mira there. That's going to be hard. I would rather go against Maestro, personally. It's really, really difficult to play against those type of setups. All right, so we are map number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Rogue losing 1-7 on Cafe for map number 1. They're going to try to battle it back to tie things up. Just a reminder, if Team Solo Mid wins this map, they're going to qualify for LAN for the USN Finals.
Yep, and there's only 2 slots every stage, folks. It is a brutal gauntlet we have set up for the format here on USN. So for Rogue, if they lose this match,
once again,
it's just like stage 1. They're going right back to the start. They got to play in those Open Cups starting on the middle of September.
I mean, if they do lose, I mean, let's look at the bright side. Rogue fans get to watch more Rogue gameplay as they continue to enter into these.
That's just part of that's part of their contract, actually, is being Team USA. They have to take as long as humanly possible.
At this point in time, Rogue pretty much has like so many hours of VOD that people can look at from USN alone. It's Rogue and Dark Zero. Both like 100 hours each.
Dark Zero for stage 1, like we don't actually have a whole lot of VOD of them because they couldn't even make it to the semifinal for most of stage 1.
Right.
Same with Rise, to be fair.
And it's so weird because all three of those teams are so strong. They're so good.
Yeah, it's like a lot of it comes down to the fact that you can play Siege in a really unpredictable fashion, and I think you can get a lot more done as a team in Siege than you can in a lot of other games through that factor.
I agree.
That on top of the fact that it's best of ones,
yeah,
which like that also adds a lot more unpredictability to your matchup.
Parallax Gaming.
It's caused a lot of upsets.
Yeah, big time.
Very explainable upsets, but upsets nonetheless at the end of the day. But it's been fun to see.
Yep. So this time around, Rogue, they're going to start off on... No, yeah, they're going to be on attack for the second time in a row to start off the map. Vertical. Dropping that shock drone around the cool vibes. They're able to get rid of one ADS as it gets shot out. Not sure if he has another one yet. But so far, it's quiet on the front as both teams are trying to figure out where their opponents currently are.
Right, so obviously things starting a little bit slow. As you kind of expect, ignore the gunfire. That's mainly just set up from our defenders still, along with the attackers, just pre-firing angles that defenders absolutely shouldn't be in at this point in the game.
It's a late preparation phase.
Yep.
Pretty much it. All right, so Vertical putting in some gunfire, and there you have it, the first kill. With 1 minute and 50 seconds, Eclipse is going to topple over Achieve. The first blood of the game.
Let's get them out of control. It's actually going to give them pretty much free reign over the entire horseshoe leading up to Hookah and Billiards at this point. Crazy also going to get caught as well by Easily from way down over at Hall of Fame. A nice shot from him right there in order to pick that one up.
Yeah, this map is way more faster paced than Cafe because it's way more condensed with a lot of rooms and entry for the attacking team. But Bolo's in a position where he can be a part of the static any moment now. Gunfire could go his way, but most of the shots are coming through Hookah balcony. Oh, Bolo shoots the drone, flicks up, and pops Easily for the nice headshot. So Easily currently out the game, and then yet another gunfire. A gunfight with steady aim. He's unable to pick up the kill, but yeah, 3 straight for TS.
It's so good in this very composed situation of trying to control what is otherwise an uncontrollable round now. 23 seconds, though. Time is going to force him into an execute relatively soon. And unfortunately, I'm not sure if he has all the intel he needs in order to confidently make this push happen. 15 seconds left. To be fair, his opponents are giving him a good amount of sound intel. Bolo, his aggression gets the better of him. There is a peek and an attempted trade from Achieved, however, is going to be successful as TSM, again, with only one man standing at the end of it, do end up closing out the round in their favor.
So close. Vertical almost had it twice now, the 1v3 to clutch it up. And Vertical fell short when it came to killing the last player from Team Solo Mid. But like I was saying, man, that's pretty much meta, man. Let Bolo fight. Just have a Doc behind him with the stem pistol and just continue to heal him. Bolo, the fact that he was able to hold that down and not die was insane. That was absurd.
That was like a John Wick level.
It was
like play right there. People shooting at him from like both sides, ducking below windows.
Doc's throwing band-aids at him like, heal up.
Someone's you got this. He's there for moral support more than anything, but
take some aspirin to go back in the fight. Slap him on the butt and sends him out the way.
Stim him up real quick. Give him the good stuff.
The man's a walking highlight reel, man. I love seeing him, in the scene. I love seeing Team Solo Mid in general. Merc working his way up with his duo Folds and landing a spot on this team, which is so important for the pro scene in general. But players like Achieved and Bio, man, they're so strong at what they do. And I love Bio's play when it comes to utility in general. And speaking of utility, he's going to be on Legion with a ton of goo mines as we see the bomb site go straight towards service and kitchen. So Rogue with the aggressive play, I mean, it's paid off well, except for last round. If they're able to land those shots on Bolo, I mean, who knows what could have happened. Rogue, they would have been up indefinitely and won that round. It could be tied up. But Team Solo Mid just seems to clutch it out at the right times. So here we are, round number 3. Let's see if Rogue has what it takes to go ahead and put 1 on the board.
So, site once again will be changing up, and TSM will be tested once more, probably in some fantastical late round fashion. That's been the way the first 2 rounds have played out so far, and it's made for an exciting game, at least for the Bolo fans out there. It's time to see if it can give us a little bit more of that. If Rogue as well can continue to adapt to their own attacking side to get them some rounds on the board here. As unfortunately, this has been a very disappointing night for them so far. They do not want to get knocked back to the beginning of the qualification process all over again for Stage 3.
All right, easily moving on in towards the balcony along with his man Slash Hug. Let's see if they go ahead and pick up a kill so far. There's going to be players over in Penthouse. They're going to try to get rid of those roamers. It's going to be 2 total. Moving in behind the drone, Slash Hug might be able to pick up a kill, but Achieved is going to be on top of it, taking out it easily. And a nice kill. Vertical picks one up as well with the F2. Oh, and he picks up a down. It's going to be a 2K, but moving in, it's going to be risky, but definitely worth it. It's able to clean up the kill on Bolo as well, taking out one of the top gunners so far for TSM.
Part of the course, though, is we've seen the previous 2 rounds also trade out very evenly at the end of the day. TSM does not seem to mind throwing away their players at the risk of potentially getting an extra trade for it. Vert's going to move in with the drone and get a little bit of extra intel onto the Mozzie. Being a little bit careful so as not to lose that drone. Although he does park it right in front of the Mozzie.
Snapped up some barbed wire over on Cool Vibes. You see a player from Rogue currently moving down the first floor. And just crazy close his eyes and do a nitro cell up there and hope for the best. And able to connect. It was way off the mark. He heard the footsteps. Unfortunately, Post wasn't in the game, and he's not on Post to see exactly where the player is. But he tried to guess it with his sound. His ears failed him. So wasted utility on his end.
Seemed like he'd been looking for a while, so
yeah.
Kind of probably just got frustrated of continuing to search for that. And see, I mean, another 1-for-1 trade. Going to stay very even this game from the looks of things. Now it's down to Achieved and Merc, 2 of the better players on TSM though, so 2 you'd want to have in this situation, but they are out of position. They do not have the best retake spot to play with. Merc, though, going to continue to move in. We'll get an interesting PFV for this kill, but we get it regardless, as both of them pick up frags to shut down the round. TSM cannot be stopped.
This is just so concerning. Team Solo Mid, they're striking first and they're striking last. I mean, it's almost as if Rogue, they don't have an answer anymore. The first round, I would say, should have gone to Rogue, definitely. But after that, slowly but surely, Team Solo Mid, they're just, they're taking the game by the neck right now. So, up 3-0 on the defensive side. Let's see if they can go ahead and extend the lead to 4. So far, the total round count, 10-1. That's rough. You don't expect this from Rogue. But with Raleigh coming up soon, they might be saving strats.
Don't say that.
Maybe.
That's my trigger word.
They're saving strats, yeah. All right, let's see what happens.
That's like the every team cop out when there's a tournament coming. It's like, oh, we're saving strats.
Like imagine 2 fans
like
fighting.
Every team saves strats. Like
yeah,
that's
to
not
an extent.
That's not an excuse. Like
teams save strats to an extent, but they don't save strats to lose at all.
Yeah,
especially for a spot to go to.
Not in this fashion, anyway.
Right.
They don't save every single strat and only pick up a single round over 2 maps. Like, come on.
Yeah. You know what, man? I want to see Rogue start off hot. I love what Vert's doing in these scenarios where he's trying to, really drag out that win in these 1v3 situations. It shouldn't have to get to that point. I want to see Rogue strike fast and hard at the beginning of the game. I don't want Team Solo Mid getting the first blood anymore. I want to change the pace.
Let's see, Rogue have been kicking up their own aggression. And I said at the end of round 1 that it seemed to be what they needed. Unfortunately, it hasn't given them what they so desperately want just yet. And that's an actual win on one of these rounds here. They come very close. The trade game has been incredibly even.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when it comes down to the late round situations, TSM is just winning those every single time. The clutch potential out of their players is far more than anything we've seen from Rogue so far in this series.
Yeah, and their slaying prowess has been unmatched. I mean, Bolo has 6 kills in the first 2 rounds. That's nutty. If they can continue to keep this up. Hey, there you go.
7.
Speaking of whom, Bolo is going to draw Vertical. And Vertical falling first is just, it's a headache for Rogue, man. One of your best gunners, once again, with great utility with the Twitch drones. It's going to be out the game.
Basically no damage on the return either. Merc looks like he took about 25 HP, but that could be unrelated from the original fight. So
yeah,
much healthier overall, but there is the 4v4 as Slash does strike, able to finish off Merc, taking him out.
A little bit of drone play coming in from Eclipse. He's going to pull interest in Sunrise. He's going to run into a player. Yeah, you see that kill hole right there? I don't think he noticed that just yet. There's a player right behind it. So the moment Eclipse runs in, If he gets in that line of sight, he's done for. Yeah, and the audio cues are there. I wonder who's hiding behind that wall.
Ooh.
Yeah, there it is. All right, Achieve, let's see what you're made of.
Chief's smart enough not to just hold the peek on it. Anyway, has a little bit of pre-fires thrown in against him there. Not going to peek into it too much. Spams a couple goo mines out into the T-junction, leading over towards Cool Vibe stairs. Slash looking like he's ready to redeploy, or at least just check for the flank hole. Bulow, he's ready for the duel. He's got a tiny hole to try and take that duel from. Achieved as well. We'll be able to stop the spread of those track stingers on the main stairs back at lobby. Rogue, come to a bit of a halt here now. No sign of the execute coming out anytime soon. And due to the low time, well, Smoke's going to start popping out those toxic grenades. He no longer really has a reason to wait.
This is such an uncharacteristic pace coming in from Rogue, taking their time. There's 30 seconds left to go, and there's not a lot of pressure on site so far. But with an upside down Habana, a little bit of pre-fire coming out. She's looking to pick up a kill and moving in towards the toxic babe. Rogue getting in position to go ahead and get the diffuser currently down. You hear the barbed wire currently being hit, and a second toxic babe is coming through, and a headshot slides right through the screen. Slash Hug's gonna be on top. Make that 2 in a row and 3 for the round. It's Rogue. They're finally gonna win one. There you have it.
They finally got that execute they wanted.
Finally.
And it's all off the back of Slash, who does a really great job opening things up for them at the end with 2 or 3 kills towards the very end of the round.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff from that Puka balcony on top of the overall team. Cohesion there to just kind of fall in once they knew they had the opportunity to do so. Really pounced on the chance that was finally presented to them to go for that execute that they are so fond of. And as such, it's going to give them their first round.
See, Rogue, they're mad. They stopped petting Ella, and they're back in business, man.
Ella's in her kennel, I think, right now, unfortunately. Said they put her in the kennel so like she doesn't distract them or something like that.
Exactly. See, now they came with the game faces on.
It's not a distraction. It's
around like that is what we needed. I was pretty concerned because of the amount of time that was left on Rogue's hands, but it was the slaying that came through that won them that round quite easily. I really love what Slash Hug did there as well. I mean, the fact that, so what's shocking to me, the fact that Rogue has been losing in this fashion is the fact that everybody on this team, they can take over a game. Like, you know, you close your eyes and just point at a name, and that player can be on top. And we saw it that round. Great gameplay. But Nomad is going to be down by shuttle. Let's see what type of roam now he's going to be able to provide with those air jabs going through. Eclipse is going to be on Ash. So you're going to have Ash and Twitch in play. That's a lot of fragging power.
Nomad in general on this map, considering especially upstairs, considering the pretty circular nature of the way that the map's laid out. If you can get those into a position where you force the defender to use either like an impact or some other form of utility to get rid of those air jabs, it's just so good because it essentially cuts off your only flanked angle in most situations, at least when you're talking from like a 1D perspective here. Or I guess you could say a 2D perspective. If you're adding top-down play into it, things get a little bit more difficult from that point forward, but Nomad can be so effective at blocking off flanks on this map.
All right, so there you have it. Prep phase currently done, and let's see if Rogue can go ahead and slap another one on the board. Merc currently roaming around, 2 pest launchers at his disposal so far. Waiting for the right moment to go ahead and throw a few of them down. Hopefully, he can catch a Twitch drone. Remember one time you and Stokes were casting, we almost saw a Twitch drone battle. And it was actually on this map. That was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's the most epic thing ever, dude.
All right.
Next time on BattleBots.
All right. A little bit of gunplay coming through. Bolo's going to run right to the bottom of Cool Vibes, escaping that fight with his life. It was a 1v2. But Rogue, they're going to back up as well and continue to drone out because of the fact that Bolo retreated, they do now want to chase and step into a trap.
Bolo can actually re-aggress here over the next moment or two if he wants to, since there's still pressure, as you can see here, for players like Mozzie, who's back over in VIP. They may have one other player upstairs here too, although I don't know if he was able to back up just yet. It's just these 2 for now. There you go again. There's the success from Nomad. That was probably going to be a pretty successful push if he was able to complete it, but now it's sent it back the other way. Bolo's got to wait for it. He does ultimately waste the charge, however, so can try to re-aggress in a moment, arguably with a lot more effectiveness this time. Is achieved. He's able to pick up the first kill against Rogue's Twitch.
Bolo still honing down the bottom of Cool Vibes. You see a drone coming through, and the pest is pretty much stopping it from entering kitchen. Slower gameplay on both ends. As the diffuser is currently going down, 3 more seconds to go. We only have a minute left. Merc gets a headshot and gets knocked down with the air jab. But he's going to get cleaned up by Shuttle, who gets his 2nd kill of the game. Moving up with a little bit of pre-fire. Bolo's unable to connect, and oh, right to his right. There's a player. He's really unaware. But the player sees the gunfire and hears the shots. And there you have it. He's able to empty it back, and he's able to get one, and that too. Crazy. He finishes up the kill and helps out his teammate. But the diffuser is down, and they still have to go ahead and work on the objective. It's going to be a 1v2 on Crazy's end.
See Eclipse still taking a lot of damage from a Goom. I know he's had to back off for that, but thankfully Easily is there to cover from across the hall and kitchen. So Rogue will pick up a second round, starting to find some solidity here later on in the opening half of the map. And TSM will falter as a result of that, now sitting only 1 round ahead of Rogue as we head into the final round of the half.
All right, so don't call it a comeback, Blue. This is it. Rogue means business. 2 straight. TSM don't have an answer. This is it, man. No, but seriously, we finally have a game now. It's not a blowout like map number 1, but still earlier on in the game. One more round before halftime, and both teams swap sides. And speaking of swapping, Merc is going to get off of Vigil. He's going to be on Mozzie. Mozzie is great. Anti-intel, able to hack drones, and that super shotty comes in handy whenever you need soft destruction. But I love his P10.
Is he an SMG or a commando Mozzie, though? That's the important question. The distinction that needs to be made. Most players using commando, I think, now.
I see a lot of P10. I like the P10 a lot for the fact that, actually, Barcy, go over to Mozzie. We'll get into use.
Which one is Murky?
It's really controversial.
Oh, no,
yeah,
the P10.
The P10 macaroni. So the P10 is cool for the fact that I like the P10 because of the fact that it has really low recoil.
10 seconds to insertion.
The only issue I have with it is the ammo count seems too low. Like a lot of it's like it's great for short range, but if the duel extends, so like for instance, if he was fighting someone between like right there and the door that goes into theater, I think that it would be slightly too long a range. That or your aim needs to be really on point. And you just end up like awkwardly running out of ammo at the end of the fight a lot of the time. So that's why I ended up switching back to the commando, because it's got a little bit better ammo distribution. But
that's why you hit your shots.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I'm just not good at video games. So
you're great, man. But you're a great caster. So speaking of casting, let's jump right into this round number 6. Let's see if TSM can go ahead and end the half off strong with a 4-2 lead. So Shock Drone currently in play as Vertical. He's been really strong on this operator, but he's been the victim of, I would say, the first blood for his team. First and second kill. First and second death, excuse me. In the last 2 rounds. But really strong gameplay overall. Yeah, Eclipse. What, did he fall off?
No, he got caught on the way out.
All right. So it's going to be an early down.
I don't know who, I think, was it Bio? They should be able to get him up, because I don't know who caught him. If they were like really far away, apparently. Either way, Shuttle's going to find another pickup here against Bolo. And they do manage to get their other player back up. So their Ash is back in the fight.
All right. A little bit of explosions coming through, but it's not going to connect on anybody at all. Oh, there you have it. Crazy's going to be the one to connect as well. Working on this 2K. Barely missed a headshot, but Slash Hug wasn't so lucky.
Crazy's going to be really careful about trying to do that again now. Fortunately, he lost a little bit too much HP from the initial engagement. So trying to do that once again might be bad for him. Oh, goodness. Really close on that one. He's going to try to reposition now as he has been spotted out more than likely by that drone. Bio definitely taking a few more shots, but
that was a great one.
Does manage to take out Vert. Now puts TSM back in the driver's seat, if only temporarily. It's going to send it a little bit further into their favor now, however, has achieved. Finds the next blow. Over onto Eclipse. It's only leaving the Nomad Shuttle. And the Thatcher easily alive and in the fight now.
Okay, here it is, 1v4, and hey, Shuttle gets the first kill. There you have it in the 1v3. He's now in Vertical shoes. Is he gonna be able to clutch this up? C4 coming through, unable to connect in. Oh, Merc almost connected. Did that pre-fire through the floor? Yeah, slightly off the mark. He's playing off of sound. This is gonna be a really hard opportunity to try to clutch.
Yeah, for Shuttle, this is very difficult. I mean, to be fair, he does have at least one player very low, but diffuser down, Merc's right in his face, he's already dead. So all these things will present problems for trying to clutch this, and ultimately it'll go to TSM, who's going to take yet another round. 4-2 for them at halftime now. Still a very dominant stance being taken.
It's pretty much a never-ending uphill battle for Rogue, man. They never had a chance, map number 1. Now, I mean, they were able to bring it up 2-3, but Team Solo Mid, they're now up by double their points. But switching over to defense, hopefully this side favors them more than attack. But still fighting from behind, they have a long way to go.
We'll have to see, because to be fair, we didn't get to see a whole lot of TSM's attacking side back from what we did get to see over on our first map. So it's going to be a bit more of it, hopefully, that we get to see from them this time. As I would expect Rogue to still put up a very good fight on defense. Attack just seems a little bit off the mark tonight. Defense usually doesn't suffer from the same problem, though. So let's see if Rogue is going to be able to hold the line for a little bit longer here, or if TSM truly is an unstoppable force this evening. You can see the round breakdown once again. Rogue kicking it up a bit more as they found some rounds towards the end of the half. But ultimately, it was still TSM dominating the early game and closing out one more at the end of the half.
Usually when we see Dokubi, Bio's going to be the one that's using her, but this time around it's going to be crazy. Bio's going to be the hard breacher for this roster. It's going to be on Hibana with a nice 8-cog scope on that rifle of hers. But on Rogue's side, we're going to see Alibi for the first time. I feel like this is going to be good. Rogue, they have a lot of operators, so they could just roam around and just, hey, play at their pace. Try to frag out. A lot of individual play can come from them with the operators that they have as well. But Eclipse looking for the last place to throw out one of his vault cams. This is going to be on blue bar? Yep, right there in the corner of blue bar. So there you have it. Hopefully they're able to lock that down with all the intel gathered. And they can pull up yet another win.
We'll see about this. First time TSM comes out on the board of this map to the attacking side, so let's see what they're going to bring to the table, and it's kills already. Wow. Biologic at a heavy cost to his own HP, but he's able to literally just walk in through service, pick up an opening frag. He's kind of stuck at the front bathroom, so at least for the time being, due to that low HP, and he's got one player from Rogue chasing him. But still going to be able to thrive under those conditions. Finds Eclipse, knocks out the Valkyrie. Slash, finally going to be able to put Bio onto the ground, though. In a 2-for-1 trade.
Yeah, peeked him through the door and gave him a little heat check. Slash hug out on top. And Merc challenging service, shooting straight in the kitchen. Unable to connect. Moving towards, yeah, there you have it. Bolo able to clean up the kill on Slash hug. You hear the logic bombs currently going through, and Team Solo Mid, they're ruthless on this attack.
TSM also like completely disobeying like the rules of timing right now too, that you normally see out of a lot of teams. They're playing very aggressive. They've got a lot of players pretty much already ready to move on the site here. I mean, they just caught Rogue's roamers, and they knew exactly where they were going to go. They had them in the open. They had a man advantage, so there was no reason not to play this aggressively. They pinched them out, prevented them from escaping back to the safety of the site, and now they've got an easy 4v1. All they got to do is, well, that. Yeah, they found Shuttle. There goes the round. Bolo adds yet another kill to his counter.
So that's pretty much their identity so far this series. They pretty much locked down that whole Wolfpack mentality, and once the logic bomb goes off, they swarm a site. They swarm an area just to clear it out. And they're efficient when it comes to it. Everyone has a line of sight that they lock down, and they claim the kills. They're winning the gunfights, the one-on-ones. And even if it's not one-on-one, they still have, 1 or 2 more people right next to them, which helps them out in that gunfight.
2 more rounds to go here for TSM. They managed to make the run. They will qualify for LAN, knocking Rogue out of the running for a second stage in a row, sending them back to the beginning of the race at the start of Stage 3 to compete with every other team still vying for a slot. There will only be 2 more chances left for Rogue to get that opportunity at the end of Stage 3, and if necessary, in our wildcard tournament at the very end of the season.
Hey, Marcy, you hold the stat screen up again. So when people say, Veli, why do you get so excited when Bolo makes a big play? Why do you talk about Bolo? Look at the man's stats right now, man. You can't be biased to someone who does well all the time. Come on, man. But it's great teamwork from everybody on that roster as well. I really love what Achieved and Bio did last round. Like I said, Bio and Crazy and Bio, excuse me. Bio, it was just on fire. I believe it was a 2K that he got earlier on.
Yeah.
Almost got the 3K, fell short, but he still opened things up in the first 20 seconds for his teammates to be able to run down. And with a little spawn peek, Shuttle's unable to connect.
He does get some damage at least.
Yeah.
Brings Achieve down to about 30.
Which is good. It's good.
Not necessarily what he wanted, but they only have to be happy with the damage they got at least for now. Slash, meanwhile, hello, there's the finishing blow onto Achieved.
So we see this on Border a lot when it comes to Rogue. They're spawn peeking pros. And you love seeing it on defense. They always try it. they go for the risk and, you know, more than less, they're able to connect.
We kind of need to see a little bit more of this aggression from them too. A little bit more unpredictability. And so far it's working great. Shuttle, of course, getting the second pick against Bio. Has now knocked out their hard breach potential. So already pretty heavily limiting the scope of what TSM can do for the rest of this round. The first trade back is going to come from Merc, though. Finds Slash a relatively low impact kill, considering that the job has already been done with the 2 other kills that were gained earlier on in the round.
Right, moving slowly in Aquarium. And Bolo doing this thing as well in VIP. He thinks someone's going to peek that doorway, but it's going to be nobody just yet. We still have a lot of time left on the clock. Now, minute 35 seconds. TSM currently down 2 players to 1. And with the Elijah bomb coming through, Merc is going to... not going to repel upside down. He's going to go to the second level. Get away from that current gunfight he was in.
Merc's going to watch his back here, too. He still has a player down below him in the office. So he's not careful. There could be someone, yep, doing that. Clips is going to be able to take him out with the C4. Rogue's prowess and control over this round continues to grow as it's down to just Crazy and Bolo now.
So this is the thing. Whenever the rounds are slower, Rogue is always on top. So it's all about stopping the pressure that TSM are currently or aggressively applying every single round. You're able to get that first kill off, that, you know, throws a dent in their strategy. They immediately rethink, you know, the way they push into the site, and it seems to work so far.
Well, we'll see here for TSM, their last 2 players trying to execute, but Rogue are just set up completely to stop this kind of a take. Toxic Babe going to go down to the corner too, will prevent any attempt to plant in default angle. Not that they could really go for it anyway. Bolo's going to be finished. Crazy, only about 25 HP left. He does knock one of the players from Rogue, but is not going to be able to kill them. And as such, Shuttle finishes off the round by killing Crazy. Rogue now back into it, it seems.
I really like this from Rogue. Able to pick things back up and win this game. Able to lock down TSM over in Aquarium and not letting them push in way too far. A lot of patience coming in from the smoke players. He was able to use that Toxic Babe to clip through the wall and, you know, stop the default plant. Even though it was a 2vx situation, Rogue were still able to pull that one out. But Montaigne currently coming into play from Crazy. I wonder what strategy they're going to throw at him.
When in doubt, Montaigne.
Montaigne it out.
It's always the go-to.
Yes.
It's oh,
Lion. Okay. Crazy.
Dirty player, you.
Getting toxic. I like that from Montaigne and Lion. All right.
The beast has been unleashed.
Looking to close out the game, man.
The tilt will be in the chat. You know, who was it that did that like really crazy fast Lion execute? I'm trying to remember if I think you were casting with me.
This is a Parallax game.
Was it?
No. It was a.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
It was.
Where
On this map.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Parallax.
They might do it right now.
I hope so. Like, they were running out of spawn. He was using the EFD.
I don't think they will do it because of their operators, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
Yeah.
Because their operators indicate like slower play with like an IQ, Habana. If they wanted to go for something quicker, I think we'd see like more like active ops. But
yeah,
it would not surprise me if we saw that, considering that they haven't used the line up until this point.
No, I'm actually shocked that Pulse is, you know, I think this is the first time we're going to see him in this series in general.
Yep, it is.
Defender is approaching a kill zone.
Especially with the C4 play coming from underneath. Pulse is very vital when it comes to roaming on the first floor. He hasn't been involved in any of these strategies, but now being on the map, I trust Shuttle with him. And he should be able to take advantage of the cardiac heartbeats that he'll be able to see with his sensor if Bolo doesn't sniff him out with the electronics detector.
All right, so we're not going to see that crazy fast execute, by the way. We're way too split up on TSM right now for us to have anything like that happening.
All right.
Lion did go to the service door, though, so the possibility for that type of an execute is still alive. Reload! And we will see exactly how Crazy tries to play this. Obviously, for those of you who have been out of the loop for the past few months, Lion, of course, you'll remember the last time you might have seen him, he was completely permabanned. He's back now. He's had some changes.
Yeah.
They've had... He wasn't really nerfed, at least in my opinion.
He had a rework, and I mean, it's still strong when used at the right time. When you're pushing into a site, when you plant the diffuser, and you pop it off, see where the players are on defense. I mean, it comes in handy big time, and it has, what, 3 charges?
Yeah.
So that's big.
So we got an additional charge. It activates faster, but it's alive for less time, and it's less precise. Is like the easiest way I've been able to break it down.
All right, it's a wasted nitro cell. And there you have it. Bolo able to peek out, getting a headshot on slash hug, but then able to get the 2K is Vertical is going to get the best of him. Vertical with the promotion to Doc is able to utilize him swiftly, but he's going to get taken out. Merc able to clean him up, and yeah, the refrags come through. Yeah, it's a bloodbath currently. And there's so much time left on the board. With the 1v2, it's going to be up to Crazy, but Crazy has Lions, so hey, he's the king of intel.
There's the ping now. He's going to get one player from it. Unfortunately, it's really far away. It was the... Oh, let's see this. I heard those Legion mines get thrown out a second ago, so he knows he's somewhere near bars.
Yeah, that was so close.
Can't pinpoint the exact location, though.
50 seconds left to go.
Chief just had enough.
Yeah.
He's gone. He's done with this.
Oh,
come on.
Oh, no. All right, so Chief is going to drop out. His hamster stopped running and his internet stopped working. So not sure what's going to happen from that. But Rogue, they're going to come out on top that round.
Hopefully it's just a quick reboot of that player to get him back into the game. But either way, it's been really fun to watch this match so far. I think it's been a really cool story. I get the idea behind the Lion pick there, though. It's I think to take away, since we saw Rogue try to play a lot more aggressively all of a sudden on defense, the Lion is an attempt to take away that aggressive capability by forcing them to either retreat or stay in a static position when they're executing.
I agree. And the one thing that I haven't been too much of a fan of, TSM is starting to fall slowly now. And we see the change of pace in the game. They're starting to play way more slower, not as aggressive as they used to be. Whenever they were aggressive, you know, busting out those logic bombs, running into sight with 3 to 4 people, they were just wiping the floor with Rogue. Now they're split up, you know, spread thin, not able to get the refrags that they wanted. You saw the last round, the refrags came heavily on Rogue's side, and they were just able to outgun players from TSM one by one. Really strong performance from them.
More than anything, they're giving Rogue the room they need to make these types of plays.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. Keep up that aggressive play style. It's working. Why change it up? So, Rogue currently, what are they down? 1 round?
Yeah, if they assuming they won that last one, so they should be 5-4 now.
Okay. All right. So, I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Yes, it's been one hell of a game so far for the simple fact that map number 1, not a lot happened at all. It was TSM playing by themselves on Kafe, and once they ran around the map and won that 7-1, things are a bit more closer now, and Rogue can actually make a strong comeback.
Yeah, we're seeing like individuals step up a lot more now from Rogue as well to be able to make those kind of round-defining plays to bring them back into it. To be honest, we didn't see that from anyone on map number 1.
No, not at all.
There wasn't really a remarkable performance from anyone in any single round from Rogue back on Kafe, so that explains why we ended up with a very one-sided scoreline of 7-1. This time we're starting to see those players kick up a little bit more. They seem to be which like is kind of weird to say this considering how strong Rogue looked on Kafe prior to this series, that they seem a bit more comfortable on Kafe, but that is indeed at least what I'm seeing right now. Is it seems that they're a little bit more comfortable in the play style, especially from a defensive point of view on a map like Coastline instead, which obviously they've been playing now for a little bit longer. And
speaking of operators, one pick that I liked recently was Shuttle getting on post. It took a while for someone to use post, but he's finally here. And just all the intel, Rogue were always 2 steps ahead. Once Bolo was out the game, you know, just be able to sense the heartbeats, throw up C4, shoot through the walls, call out where the opposition is, and it worked out for him big time. That was, I would say that's probably Rogue's biggest victory so far in regards to lives left.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, guys, well, we're going to find out if these change-ups from Rogue are going to continue to allow them to battle back into this game. As soon as we get that last player from TSM reconnected, I think it was achieved to drop out.
Hurry up. We want the gameplay. Don't make us wait, please.
So we're just waiting for him to reconnect really quickly, and then we're going to be good to resume the festivities. Quick reminder that the third map, if we need to go on to it, is going to be Clubhouse. Got my C's mixed up there. So we're currently on Coastline.
I can't talk all day, so it's fine. It's the lack of sleep, man. I don't know what it is. So also what I want to throw out there, since I have the whole beautiful chat, you know, looking at us, Venmo. This is your last week to submit your clips. I don't want DMs asking questions. No. Go to the website. Check the ESL Rainbow Six Twitter. We have all the information there. We say it on the recap show what's happening. We're giving away $700 this week. And this is the last time we're doing this until September. Yep. The middle of September.
Right around September 15th. So basically
there's only
right in the
so
middle
much money we could throw out. So yeah.
So make sure you guys are submitting those clips.
Okay, so you know what's annoying as well?
What?
Factor, he DM'd me a clip of tournament gameplay that you and I were casting this 4K, and he was like, "Can I use this?" I was like, "Dude, no, it's tournament play. Like, get something from a scrim, something we haven't seen before. I'm not gonna take your 4K that you had on main stage doing 360 no scope. No,
Hey, you can't fault a man for trying though. Once you wanted $500.
it was the nicest clip I saw too. So make sure you get those clips in, man. $700 every week, starting stage 3.
Yep.
So yeah.
Don't forget, once again, guys, as well, that we have our second match of the week coming up on Thursday. We only have one match tonight, this one here that you're watching now, but on Thursday we're going to see Space Station and Rise play for the second LAN slot available, the only LAN slot available for the Eastern Conference here in stage number 2, with the other one going to the winner of this match here this evening. That'll actually close out stage 2 in its entirety, as Veli was just discussing too, and we'll be on break from that point forward, going until the middle of September. We return with the Open Cups once again for the beginning of stage 3, and eventually our wildcard tournaments at the end of the season.
I just want to fast forward to the LAN. I'm ready. I'm so ready.
It's coming up, man.
USN was my first ever Rainbow Six LAN, and it was so I've been to so many events, for other games, and I got into a routine where I'd walk in, do my job, walk out, whatever. Like I wasn't wowed at that time anymore. I went to USN in Vegas, and that was a wow moment, the first wow moment I've had in a while. So guys, make sure you just continue to follow these qualifiers, and if you can, go to USN 2019. It's gonna be popping. But we're gonna go on a short break, waiting for Chief to come back from his rage quit. So stay put, and we'll see you soon after this short break.
is game fuel. 16 ounces of pure annihilation. Perfect for finding the second to last man standing. Tastes like berry-flavored wind sauce.
New Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
All right, well, welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the Rainbow Six U.S. Nationals. Over the last 5 weeks, we've had hundreds of teams competing from across the United States for a chance to qualify for our Rainbow Six U.S. Nationals LAN Finals. And now we are down to our final 4 teams for Stage 2. And at the moment, we are in the midst of the fight between the West Coast Conference Qualifier Final between TSM and Rogue, Team USA themselves from last year's tournament.
And Team USA, they're currently struggling. The story of USN 2019 so far from Team USA 2018. They lost map number 1 on Kafe, a map that we all thought they were going to win outright because historically, Rogue has been undefeated on Kafe, and they even recently won a LAN at DreamHack from it. They lost 1-7. They lost 1-7. They got demolished, and TSM basically had their way with Rogue. But going into map number 2, Rogue, they're now starting to catch up now. Now we actually have a game. TSM, we saw a little rage quit coming from Achieved. He dropped out. I don't know what happened. His internet pooped out on him. And yeah, it's a really close game. I believe they're down by 1 round now. I believe it's what? 5-4?
5-4.
5-4, yeah. So, hey, this can go any way now. But we saw strong play coming from the likes of Vertical, coming from the likes of Bio, Achieve, Bolo. It's been great performances on both sides. And here we are, round number 10, and locked into the operators. It's going to be no 6 picks. And Slashhug is going to be promoted to Doc. You love to see it. Oh, Mira, first Mira sighting so far. It's been 10 rounds, and Mira finally comes into play.
Yeah, we've barely seen her used, despite the fact that she was left unbanned, which actually is a pretty good move from both teams. Considering that, because they probably both realize, like, you know, we're not really going to use her that much. So there's no point to ban her out. That's good counter intel from both teams, and just a kind of synergetic way that the ban system ended up working out so far. Anyway, we'll see how well Shuttle's going to be able to utilize her as we go into this round.
All right. So Shuttle, where he puts those black mirrors, is going to be pretty interesting. I haven't seen Mira in, actually, I don't think I've ever casted over Mira play in USN.
We did see, I think we saw her in round 1 too, if I remember.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because I remember seeing a Mira-shaped hole in the wall at one point. I don't remember seeing the window specifically, and it's gonna be honest, I remember failing me on the operator select going back that far. But
there you go. Oh, we call that a Deprecha mirror. It's top 1, second to none. Ready to dominate the opposition. Deprecha mirror number 2, dispatch. Let's get it. All right, I'm excited. Shuttle, set ready to go with a C4 in hand. Let's see. He's gonna be able to get a nice pick from Team Solomon as they come in unexpectedly face to face with a black mirror. But already on board with the Chief, it's gonna be donning Buck with the skeleton keys in hand. Let's see him work some magic.
Now, it's also been a bit of a break since the teams played the previous round. When we were in it before, Rogue had taken an incredibly aggressive stance on their defense here. We're very much trying to actively prohibit TSM from working their way into the building in any way, shape, or form, and did a pretty good job of that for the most part. This round, though, TSM are going to do that work themselves.
Wait, how?
And somehow Merc shot Crazy in the back of the head.
Merc bodied him. As he was blind firing the door down, just spraying bullets, a bullet pierced through the ground and shot the objective player. Gridlock. Gridlock.
You hate to see that, and Bolo is gonna get popped. Oh no! This is
collapse. It's happening.
Just throw this round in the bin, TSM.
Rogue, they prayed to the siege
forget this
gods.
one happened.
We have people dropping from the games. We wall banging teammates now. Okay, Merc. He got another headshot, but it wasn't on his teammate this time around.
All right, calm down.
Let's get it. I'm excited, man. Rogue currently up 4v2, but still a clutchable situation is Achieve picks up a headshot, 2v3. If TSM wins this round, I'm going to lose my mind.
I'm gonna get irrationally angry.
I'm going to be so upset. Rogue
TSM turns this around.
They're just Tom Bradying it right now, just throwing as hard as possible. So Merc's still alive. He's going to be in courtyard. A little wallbang coming through. Rogue, they're going to hear those shots come through. You saw Vert with a little peek towards courtyard, but you know, he put his head right back around that corner. With some drone play, the gameplay is slowed down. TSM, they're currently trying to pick up any type of intel. You see a player running through service in the kitchen, but I wonder if TSM, they're going to catch him on that rotate.
It's very good that we do see Rogue slow it down, however, just considering the fact that like there was that potential worry of them throwing the round away if they continue to take individual 1v1s, and you know as you might expect, continue to go the way of TSM. Now they've slowed it down. It doesn't look so certain anymore, but Merc, the sniper, destroys Vertical.
That was great intel given to him. He knew exactly where he was. He made that hop with the aim already lined up, and it was almost as if he had wall hacks. Like he jumped over cover and was able to land that shot.
15 seconds.
Time getting desperate here, however, for TSM, so they now have to force themselves into the site. They'll use the Hibana hole to try to plant behind the bar. I'm not sure if it's going to be safe, as I don't think this C4 was used. They jump off it, he tries to run, it won't work. 3 seconds remaining, and the problem is the diffuser's now out in the open. As a result of that, we'll see Shuttle finish things off, takes out Merc, and that's going to be Rogue picking up the round at tie now, 5-5.
You know what? What was it, a 2v2? It would have been a 3v2 for TSM if Merc didn't pop his teammate.
It was a 2v5 at one point, yeah.
Yeah, I know. They almost clutched it out, man. That was such an amazing performance, and that just showed that TSM, they still have their head straight on their shoulders. But now we have a tied game. Let's see if Rogue can go ahead and shut this map down with 2 more wins. If it doesn't go into overtime. If it goes overtime, they're going to need 3 total from this point on. So, who's going to strike first to go on the map point? Post is going to be in play under Eclipse. And it's not going to be a 6-pick just yet. Poor Crazy. Imagine running through a building, you know, you're so motivated to go ahead and get that big kill and throw down some track stingers. And
teammate just drops a bullet on you.
Special delivery. All right.
That's what we think of you.
All right, so let's see what happens this time around. But either way, great performance from Merc. Merc tried to redeem himself by going absolutely big that round, but it wasn't enough. The plant almost went down, but that C4 throw was a work of magic, baby. He was able to throw in the right spot behind the bar, get that easy kill. Merc was able to get the refrag, but the trade came in swiftly, and Rogue were able to tie things up. Here we are, 10 more seconds in the prep phase, and Shuttle is going to be on dock. I like watching Rogue on defense because of the spawn peaks. They're so crazy, they're so disrespectful.
Attacker's objective is to
And when he
locate a
hit
bomb
that
and defuse it.
barricade, yeah, is he going for a spawn peek if he sees anybody? You would love to see it.
It's not looking like he's going to be able to spot Mini.
Okay, nah, it's not going to happen.
He's really on that camera for the longest time.
Like, what are you looking at?
It's really into the bars, apparently.
All right. Interesting view.
And we're going to see TSM start to line up a crawl towards the main stairs window here. With Crazy probably going into support. They are really worried about someone being at the top of these stairs. It's pretty clear as far as I can tell, though. Rogue do have players in the area, but they're closer towards like Penthouse and Theater. Achieved will start us out, though, by finding Eclipse before that pulse can cause problems later on in the round, either through his C4 or through that heartbeat scanner.
That was such a huge kill. One of the top intel operators on Rogue. Now you just saw Valkyrie and her 3 cams. The drone coming through VIP, straight in the hallway, able to... Oh, he was able to pick out a member, and with the pre-fire coming through, he missed it, he stopped shooting, and Vertical got the best of Bolo. Nice exchange coming through, but Bolo wasn't confident in his shot and the location of Vertical. Great win for Rogue in that engagement. So Post is down, same with IQ. And with IQ currently being down, TSM, they're going to have to look really hard to get rid of all of Valkyrie's cameras.
Not only this, but you can see Achieved, yeah, waiting for the right opportunity in order to try and force Doc or another player that I think was hiding over towards Penthouse. Yeah, Bio dealing with this player now, I believe, actually. Trying to force those players out, but it did not work, so he ends up swinging in, giving his life away. That's another down against TSM's favor. Puts Rogue further into control of this round. 1 minute and 15 left, so time's starting to get a little bit low here for TSM as well. And they haven't really made any progress towards getting towards the execute. You can see, 2 or 3 of their players still basically outside at this point with no map control. This is not a good look at the moment for TSM.
All right. Busting the cap in that default camera was Merc, and he's going to work his way up to the 2nd floor. Open their aquarium. He has Crazy on the side of him. A little bit of drone play and less than a minute left to go. It's going to be all on Rogue to stop this push. They should know exactly where TSM are coming from, and with that gunfire coming through, it's going to confirm my theory. Merc is going to lose a lot of health, and he's going to go down. Crazy is unable to save him, but he's able to get the trade. Nice headshot on Shuttle. So now 30 seconds left to go. 2 players left alive. Can they clutch it up?
Trade may not be enough at this point, but Crazy with a good find brings it down into an even fray. Now at a 2v2, 20 seconds in order to make the execute happen. They can go for the default plant. Toxic Grenade should still be available, however, for Smoke, at least at this point in the round. Easily also ready to just actively deny this push when it comes in. There you go. There's the gas grenade. The attempted response from Gridlock, but it's not going to do much. Now down to 1 player left, Bio, and he's also going to fall to Slash, giving Rogue the lead. And now map point at 6-5.
Hey, maybe that little rage quit from Achieved helped out Rogue a tad bit, because this team looks entirely different than what they look like on the first map in the first half of this game. Great comeback from Rogue to go ahead and take the lead for the first time ever this entire series. They're currently on match point. Team Solo Mid, if they win 1 round, we're going to go to overtime, where either team are going to have to win 2 rounds out of 3 in order to move on and win the map. TSM wins, they go to LAN. Rogue wins, we go to tiebreaker map.
Battlefield's been set. It's going to be kitchen service for the final defensive round being put up here by Rogue, regardless of the outcome. Easily will also 6-pick, interestingly, away from a smoke on kitchen service, and instead is going to bring the Mozzie to the table to play counter intel.
All right, see what happens. Kitchen and service is going to be all up the road to go ahead and shut this down. Post is going to be in play once more. Rogue has found success with him recently, winning the last 3 rounds that they chose him. So Lockdown Shadow Operator, looking to put him to good use. Even though he was a victim of the first blood last round, you know, they still played well around him.
Interesting pick from Rogue this time is swapping out the smoke. You can't necessarily blame him for it. Smoke doesn't always tend to have the easiest angles just to even toss the toxic gas grenades in, depending on the way that the attacking team executes on this site. So doesn't always end up being the most useful op, whereas we've been seeing Mozzie become more and more prevalent in the meta over the last few weeks.
All right, Pest coming through towards front desk. He's looking to hack a drone if he happens to pass by. And Achieve's checking for a spawn peek, something that Rogue is definitely notorious for. Oh yeah, you see Doc hiding on the 2nd floor. I wonder what he has up his sleeve currently. Drone work coming through, Builders and Aquarium. Bolo isn't going to see anybody yet, and going to the 2nd floor is going to be Merc as well. If you go ahead and get 2nd floor dominance, the soft breach, it's even a soft destruction, you're going to be able to shoot down. And if you have players such as Buck, you're able to toss down a few frag grenades and hopefully be able to pick up a kill or 2, but they're going to have to get rid of these roamers first. They're the main ones stopping them from getting towards the bomb site.
It's going to good defensive setup here on the 2nd floor, focused primarily on the theater, but also with a player towards main stairs. It's going to make trying to get in through this big window relatively difficult, let alone trying to leverage that control into a site take. 1/3 of the time now gone, but Achieved finds a good start, able to knock out Eclipse with his nade. That's going to eliminate the player from theater.
And this start was exactly what TSM needed. Oh, Crazy with that answer. Getting the 2nd straight kill for TSM.
3rd now.
Bolo with the 3rd.
Shuttle, however, still trying to trade this back. He's already found 1, and he's got his eyes on a 2nd target over by main stairs. But Shuttle, for good reason, being a bit cautious about his current position, does not want to overplay his hand and end up getting a shot to the back of the head. And an easy trade, not even really a trade anymore, in TSM's favor. See Merc trying to go hunting through the floor as well. Basically blind firing those, so they're not going to be able to find much from that. Though it does get a little bit of response back, so it has confirmation as to a target's position. Just doesn't know where exactly to lock him out at yet. Easily trying to continue his movement over towards service now. But TSM still with a lot of control. Just need that one little push they need to get to the execute point.
Bolo coming in to try to be the playmaker for this roster currently in courtyard. Right to his left, he has a player with this ACOG lined up.
Nitro cell.
He's trying to pick up a headshot, but the Nitro cell going down currently causes some soft destruction.
There you go.
Merc and Bolo pick up 2 headshots back to back. We're going straight to overtime, boys. This is it. Rogue. They needed 1 more round. They were unable to win that, so now they're going to have to win 2 in order to take it to tiebreaker map. This is it.
At the same time, a great recovery from Rogue, all things considered. A lot of it coming out, in my opinion, from their aggression that they showed on the defensive side. And we kind of saw that taper away in the final round. It is a site that you can't necessarily be as actively aggressive on due to the way it plays itself out, but still, it dropped to a huge margin, and unfortunately, TSM were able to thrive as a result of that, along with, I think, just the more calculated play in the early round we saw from them overall. We'll have to get to see it once again, though, as we are going to go right back onto Rogue on defense and TSM on attack. But, of course, with the sight locks being reset, since we're now in overtime, it's back to hookah and billiards.
And we see a comfort pick coming in from Bio. I've said it a lot, but now he's going to have the logic bombs in his pocket to be able to help Team Solo Mid make these pushes to clear out these roamers. So, going straight to the second floor over near Builders and Hookah. Rogue, they're going to take their time on defense to hold back the aggressive gameplay that we saw earlier from TSM if they decide to bring the heat this time around. But Shuttle has been on fire lately. 5 rounds in the past few rounds. 5 kills in the past few rounds. But the rest of his teammates, they weren't there to help him pick it up last round. This is it. They get a second chance to go ahead and win this map. And this is it.
Usual overtime rules, guys, for Siege. We are not at a major, so we have no extended overtime enabled. It's just 3 rounds. As Veli was mentioning earlier, that's 2 out of 3 wins under these circumstances.
A few players coming in from Ruins, a little bit of drone work. They don't want to risk getting spawn peak currently. See some destruction over on a few of those barricaded windows. The Bull's going to work his way up from Terrace. Oh, yeah. That drone work coming into play, throwing in yet his second one. He knows that there's somebody in office, and it's going to be Pulse, so a little bit of pre-fire. Eclipse got the best of Bolo so far, knocking him down to less than half health.
Definitely doing some good work there with the Doc, finding massive impact. Even if it's not necessarily in the form of a kill, just holding TSM back in their early game plans by keeping them outside of the office, on top of just getting a little bit of damage, does really, really good work against these guys.
You hear the cell phones currently going off from the first logic bomb that Bao is going to push through. But there's still going to be no deaths on the board, so we now push the 1 minute and 50-second mark. Slash Hug is going to be the first one on the board to get a kill. The victim's going to be crazy. So that means that Twitch is going to be off the board with their F2 with a high rate of fire on that gun. So that fragging power is going to be relinquished from Team Solo Mid.
Bio's still hunting, but at the moment, Rogue not handing over any angles to TSM. TSM continuing to play this incredibly passively, but they need to be the ones to kick up the aggression right now, and I don't know if they have the control to do that. A lot of reconstruction coming in from down below by Achieved. It's not going to be able to lock onto a target, though, even though they did manage to force a reposition from one of the members of Rogue. Minute and 10 seconds left. A quick little dip from Beulah to knock out the default cam in the corner of Aquarium. Merc also hunting from the side window. Eclipse going to be caught by Achieved. That's a very small start, though. It's only killed the roaming presence. What? The long-range skeleton key kill from Achieved as well. It's an interesting follow-up and a way to start and execute for TSM. But let's see them get into a site now. They still haven't started it. Down to 45 seconds.
And there you have it. Yet another gunfight from Easily as he gets the best of Bolo. Huge kill. 36 seconds left to go. This is where TSM are going to be a little bit more aggressive. You see the push coming through straight from Aquarium. But Easily is going to make the most of his shotgun, picking up a kill. Vertical's going to back him up. It's going to be all up to the Ash player. It's going to be Merc with the R4C. 20 seconds is not a lot of time.
Merc trying to... I think Merc not necessarily assuming that he would have a good chance to win this, just trying to play it as slowly as possible. The instant denial against him, the double denial as well, as there's going to be another toxic grenade thrown further down the stairs. Prevents him from doing really anything at all. He's just going to make a play for it, because why not? Finds 1 kill, but ultimately does go down to Easily on a quick trade as Rogue find the first round of OT. 1 more away from triggering a 3rd map.
Ooh, this is it. Did you shotty me? So Wait, was this Slash Hug that lost against the Skeleton Keys?
Yeah, so basically he opened up too much room, and then he did get shotgun back by the smoke.
You're Achieved. Such a great performance to open things up for TSM, but they were unable to close out, losing players in the final 40 seconds. Pretty big blow. Rogue, match point. TSM, perfect gameplay is needed. 2 more rounds left to go.
To be fair, though, this takes us back to the defense for TSM, and that's where TSM were really thriving. So They may not be out of this one just yet. We'll see, though, as it's obviously been about 7 rounds since they last played the defensive side. So they might be a little out of their element here if they're not going to immediately be able to kind of switch themselves back into it.
Yeah, so Achieved is going to be on post. TSM, they're going to put him on the island and just let him roam free, do what he does best, slay out. But with no IQ on the board, Rogue, they're going to have top-notch drone work to be able to sniff him out and gun him down. You keep him alive long enough, he's going to wreak havoc from the first floor. Cardiac sensor to detect wherever the opposition is, and a nitro cell in hand. He'd be able to get off a sneaky kill or two. But execution is the name of the game. Let's see if TSM has it in him.
10 seconds remaining.
Who do you think's gonna win this round, Blue? This is it. Is Rogue gonna close this out?
Like TSM's defensive side was really convincing though. So I'm thinking TSM takes this one the distance.
Okay.
Next round's still completely up in the air though.
I believe in Rogue. Let's do it. Oh, the small peak is currently coming through from Bolo. See if he's able to line up a head or two. Nothing's happening just yet. And he's gonna go ahead and retreat. And they come out of spawn safely right after that. All right, so they're able to walk out of spawn without, single bit of HP being taken from him. And immediately moving into surface is going to be Slash Hug. He's going to be crouch walking silently to go ahead and see if he could get the first kill. But getting close to somebody, now he's going to sprint. Little does he know, to his left is a player, but in front of him he handles Bolo. Bolo being one of the first players to die the last 2 rounds. He's not having a good time so far this map.
Merc needs to trade this, otherwise it's already giving up too much control.
Oh,
Eclipse,
yeah.
though, is able to find Achieve. Down goes their Rook. This is not what we needed to see from TSM. We needed a much stronger early round presence. That's a good start to try and turn it back on its heels, but they're taking a lot of damage right now. Eclipse and Vertical absolutely tearing through this defensive matrix set up closer to Kitchen, leaving it all on Crazy upstairs. He's lost his entire support system, has nothing to work off of now. He's going to have to try and potentially peek a long-range SMG-11 kill. Just not the easiest thing in the world to try and bargain for here. He's got 2 players pushing him from the other side. Finds the first pickup. He's got to constantly be wary of that window behind him, though. He's also got 1 more player down from Luggage, in addition to the additional threats that are going to work their way in from Hookah.
Now, vertical control for SMG-11 is going to make it so hard to clutch these type of scenarios, especially when you're faced up against somebody with an ACOG sight on their rifle. Easily, it's going to close that round out. And that's going to close out the map for Rogue as they win their first map. Tie things up with Team Solo Mid.
So both teams steal each other's map pick in an overtime. A dominant one, but overtime nonetheless. Rogue is going to take control of that second map and send us over to Clubhouse for our 3rd and final map to decide the series, and most importantly, to decide who goes forward to the USN LAN at the end of the year.
This is a roller coaster ride. I'm not ready for this. We're going to Clubhouse. We see TSM dominate the first map. We think they're going to win the second map. No. Rogue came by, swept the rug from under their feet, won it out in overtime. It's been pretty back and forth and a lot of inconsistencies in the mindset of TSM, I would say. We see either a lot of aggression or a lot of slow gameplay. The slow gameplay just isn't working out for him. Merc has been a man on fire, but it hasn't been enough for this entire roster. I love what Achieved has been doing as well, but players like Slash Hug and Shuttle have stepped up really big for this roster on Rogue.
And then you've got guys like Biologic who seem to have a really good performance in map number 1, but it did taper off a bit as we entered the second map so far. It's not necessarily a player that they've come to rely on for that high performance, but certainly something that was there in map number 1. But at least as far as the second half in this map was concerned, didn't see it as much. Bolo was a player that had a really good start as well, but in my opinion, I failed to see as much of that impact as we entered the second half.
Yeah, Bolo he got clapped early the past 2 rounds, and it was really unfortunate being one of the best gunners on TSM. But it was the simple fact that there was around 3 people died within the first 30 seconds. That can't happen, especially when the game is on the line for that map. I mean, you win this round, move on to try to win the next round to go to LAN. You give that up. I mean, blowing it like that is just rough. But congrats to Rogue for changing up their play style and their mindset with the way they attack these rounds on attack and defense. And hey, they deserve that win.
We're also going, it's going to be interesting to see how TSM's defensive side continues to evolve, because overall they try to play a very outreached defensive side, a very aggressive defensive side that relies on early round picks, arguably a little bit too much. And going to Clubhouse, Clubhouse is a map where certain sites I don't think you can leverage that early round aggression as easily. So I think that there's going to be a little bit more power thrown to Rogue to potentially close out this series as a result of that. And we'll see. Because TSM, like, I've still seen them be able to play very well on Clubhouse. It's not a map that they've chosen to go into haphazardly. But it does not play, in my opinion, as effectively to their play style. So we'll see.
All right, so Rogue on top. I think that Rogue is going to come up with this on Tiebreaker map, man. Losing a map like this, that's got to kill them. Especially a newer team. When you have a group of veterans that are able to just, rally behind each other and just pull out this type of comeback, that was big. But yeah, Rogue, once the second half came around on defense, they were just way too dominant.
The one thing that does scare me for Rogue's sake and them trying to close this out is Rogue, it does not seem like our next map here, Clubhouse, is a relatively comfortable pick for them.
Really?
It's actually it's tied with, or actually it's technically tied for second place, but it's one of their top 3 most banned maps, actually.
Really?
Between Border being their most, I just want to make sure I'm looking at the right team here, yeah. Border being their most banned, with 8 bans in the last few months. Both Villa and Clubhouse sit tied at 7, right below that.
You know what, when it comes to looking at maps and just predictions off of that, I have some casters that talk about, hey, half of the battle is, the map ban phase. But, Rogue goes to Cafe for the first map, and when they try to set a tone, they lose 1-7. So you really can't predict which type of Rogue you're going to get sometimes. And I said that earlier on. You're either going to get a Rogue that's just simply amazing, or one that's not amazing. It's a hit or miss with this team.
I think the other interesting thing to talk about when you consider the fact that it's obviously been a map that they have kind of left out of their pool for the recent months at least.
Question practice.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Is we've got the Major coming up in a few weeks, and it might be that they're ready to play this map, considering that the Major's right around the corner. They want to add as much versatility to their lineup as possible, and adding another map into the pool that teams may not expect, maybe one of those things. But the ultimate question is, do they want to reveal that fact now, that they can play this map, and teams should maybe consider, not playing it against them for reasons of
At
their
this
own
point,
strength?
I would say yes, because if you win this map, you're qualified to go to a LAN.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just, all of that stuff just goes out the window. All bets are off. We're going hard, full sweat mode. We're doing all types of strategies.
See these replays here once again. We continue to work our way through it here. We get to the closing moments of it where we see the final round, TSM ultimately just kind of throwing away a few too many players at the beginning of that final round too early, and as a result couldn't hold out the defense on just their smoke player upstairs alone against the world. So they end up dropping that one at the end of the day after a very successful map number 1 on Cafe. They won 7-1. They dropped this one in overtime, 6-8. And that allows for Rogue to tie things up. And like we've been talking about over the last few minutes, is going to send us to Clubhouse here very shortly to decide the series.
Yes, so ladies and gentlemen, hang tight because map number 3 is coming up. This game will determine who will go to LAN here in Stage 2 on the western side. The Western Conference. Yeah, the Western Conference. There you have it. And so we'll jump right into that map after this short break. See you soon.
It's game fuel. It's domination in a can. Tastes like loser tears.
New Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
All right, guys, for the last time tonight, we are back once again with the Rainbow Six U.S. Nationals. The West Coast Conference qualifiers are about to come to a close. It's between TSM and Team USA. Rogue themselves are biting it out now in a very long best-of-3, which has gone the distance over to its third map, Clubhouse, to decide between these two teams which one gets to go to LAN.
I can't wait. Rogue, they scratched and clawed their way back into the game after losing 1-7 on map number 1, which was their strongest Cafe. They went to TSM's map pick, came back, took the win. Now on Clubhouse, this is a map that Blue was saying that Rogue haven't had a lot of experience on. And in their last game for TSM, Clips earned a 16-4 KD. You know what? Hey, it's a new day. It's a new day. I mean, he went off that game, but it's a new day. And TSM, they're an entirely different team now, to be fair. They're nothing like they used to be a month ago at all.
Yeah. And you can see here by our stats, which are being presented in the pregame, that despite the relative timidness of Rogue to play on this map, they still hold the same record that their opponents do with 2-2 overall if we ignore ties. So it's still a very close affair between these two teams at the end of the day, and we'll have to see which one comes out on top. This is it, ladies and gentlemen, the best of 3 coming to its conclusion with the winner going forward to the LAN at the end of the year. Will it be Rogue or TSM? Let us know in the chat as we're about to find out. Let's get into our final ban phase. It's going to be TSM that get to select the first ban.
Good luck, have fun. It's coming out from TSM. No one on Rogue said anything at all, but Maverick is going to be the first ban. Why? He is way too powerful when it comes to CCTV and also basement pushes. So getting him out the game is really smart. Capital banned for the 3rd time in a row tonight. Well, what can you say about him? The LMG, his utility, he has it all.
A little bit too much in his package right now, so a lot of teams choosing not to deal with that. Echo going to get banned out this time as well. He's been banned twice tonight. And that final ban, does Mira re-enter the ban pool, or do we stick with the knockout on Maestro as well, or did we get a curveball?
It gotta be
back to Mira.
You don't want to get rid of Maestro because he holds down angles too well, and if you ban him, you hurt yourself big time as well, unless you practice a lot without him, which all these teams really don't do.
Well,
here it is.
Into round number 1. So let's see indeed if TSM is going to be able to rebound after their upsetting turn of events to start at 4-2 at the end of the first half on Coastline. Unable to translate it and ultimately lost the map at 6-8, but still with a 7-1 victory on Cafe in their pocket. Should still be feeling good about their odds to close out here on the 3rd and final map Clubhouse, especially considering how commonly Rogue ban it out. But like we were talking about before with the major coming up relatively soon, it's not unlikely for Rogue to have potentially gotten a little bit more comfortable on this map and be willing to jump into it.
Yeah, Kaid currently in play from Achieve. We're going to see some claws going up to protect the hatches from above. It's going to help out big time when it comes to armory play, especially now that Maverick is off of the map. So the hard breach denial is going to be important when it comes to that kitchen hatch, and let's see how the rest of the team are going to fare. I wonder where Bio is going to put his Evil Eyes. He still has both of them in play. And, yep.
One usually, one goes to the wall here to watch the drop down. Second normally has a watch on like blue or something like that.
Lined it up, big fella. That was his OCD. Okay. Lines up one of his Evil Eyes, looking to place the second one.
More than likely he's going to have eyes on like blue or something like that. Yeah. It's probably somewhere near blue is where I would guess.
All right, so already peeking around garage is going to be vertical.
Placing my Evil Eye.
A player who definitely picked it up last map, especially in the first half. He had 2 1v3 attempts. Unfortunately, he died when it came to a final 1v1 in both of those engagements. But with short-term memory in play, he's forgotten about all of that. His mind is now set on handling this entire blue area.
Oh, we've got at least Eclipse in position now. He's going to start working his way forward. Of course, they'll be a little bit cautious to make sure they drone everything out before moving forward. But for the most part, you should expect business as usual for the first minute or two of this round, as Rogue's going to have to spend a good amount of time trying to pop open the kitchen hatch. Once they either succeed or fail to do that, then you can expect the rest of the team to get into position to execute from the main stairs or blue.
Currently with the drone going through bar and another one over in basement hallway. Rogue trying to set up the drone to get enough intel as possible with the player currently on main stairs. With the skeleton keys coming into play, Shuttle's going to clear out any type of lurkers underneath that hatch so they can get the clean hard breach to look down in armory. Minute 30 left so far. It's been pretty much quiet on both fronts.
Attackers have located a bomb.
We saw Vertical peeking towards Blue earlier on in the game, and he didn't advance much after that.
Still not much progress being made here at this point by Rogue themselves, but still plenty of time to make it happen. Oftentimes we do see this basement site execute going down to the final 20 seconds or so and then kind of attempting everything at the last second. And we've even seen Rogue themselves do this just on this series back in Cafe. There's been a few rounds where they basically made zero progress on map control and then attempted to make a last-ditch effort to execute. Now, it's not necessarily speaking for how well those executes went, but they did do it. They're likely going to end up in a similar situation here. Starting things off, though, just blasting open the wall leading into the inside of Church. To give them a bit more intel, hopefully allow some drones to sneak in, and there you go. Good start with Shuttle. The opening kill achieved, however, able to immediately trade it back. He doesn't have an angle for a second kill, but is unable to translate that. So we still end up even 4v4.
The drone wasn't able to see Achieve go ahead and rotate all the way from Church into Blue, and Achieve, hiding behind that generator, was able to pick up the kill on Vertical. So with Sophia out of play, that's a lot of slaying power that's off the books, and Achieved is going to pick up yet his second kill with TCSG.
It's just not really going to be a winnable situation, unfortunately, for Rogue. All down to Shuttle now, as they're forced into essentially just a kill box. And there you have it. Biologic with the Bailiff of all weapons finishes off the round. And TSM start things out with an advantage in their favor.
Yeah, that was all Kaid right there. If that rotation was called or just noticed, if Vertical even got the audio cues from the gunfire, the loud gunfire that was coming on the other side of that cover, he probably wouldn't have advanced that far to go ahead and be the victim of the first blood. Once he fell, Achieve was able to get his second and third kills to help out Team Solo Mid win that round. But now we're going to go straight to CCTV and Cash Room. Pretty common sight. One of the favorites whenever you see this map being played. Usually Chone first. With the Doc and Maestro in play, I wonder which one are going to protect top garage.
We'll see on this. Just a few seconds here as we've got TSM setting up now. Overall, TSM with a good start to build off of here. Rogue, unfortunately, just struggling to find that execution point. Often was a problem for them back on Cafe, too, so it's echoes of the first map, and that's probably not the way they want to be going into the first or the third map with, considering what is on the line in this matchup.
10 seconds remaining.
So, with Capital being banned,
5 seconds.
we've seen him recently being played on this map. It was actually last time you and I casted last week. And Capital on West Balcony, being able to shoot a CCTV, was able to get rid of all of Bandit's charges, which helped things up big time when it came to getting rid of that reinforced wall to get in the CCTV. With Capital out, the game is going to be hard. As the Thatcher and Thermite, they're going to have to be on the same page to be able to get rid of that wall. But with Habana on board as the second hard breacher on his roster, Slashhug's responsibility is to open up bottom side of garage, right underneath the rafters.
Vert looking to work his way in here all alone too. More so posing up for aggression though, and to potentially have that late round cross angle if Rogue can actually get the wall open here and then successfully attempt to execute from that point forward. Also, possibly a way to anti-trick against Bandit when they do want to get the wall open, if he can weigh the aggression appropriately. But the way this works, the Bandit normally would have someone supporting him to make sure that that does not happen.
Here it is. The alternative to using Thatcher is going to be Sophia.
Doesn't get the trick.
And yeah, there you have it. Achieved failed that trick. And with a little retreat happening, Rogue going to be able to open up a path They go right into CCTV from balcony.
Still no kills just yet. Both teams sitting even, but with the balcony open, Rogue already have a lot more control to work with in order to make this round close out that much easier. TSM, on the other hand, obviously losing that control, but still with 5 players strong, as long as positions are good, they can still leverage their win as well. Merc specifically waiting to potentially get some intel to work off of here. A second door now going to be opened up by Rogue from construction. However, that's what Merc is looking to potentially punish.
Yeah.
Something that Rogue themselves may have not been able to catch just yet.
Merc can actually flank and be the playmaker for this roster. It's going to be all about when he chooses to attack. But by staying there, he's going to be able to shoot out all the XK rolls. Well, most of them that were used to go ahead and be utilized as hard breach on the lower side of that wall.
He gets enough to stop the wall from being opened. And now is going to force members of Rogue to crawl in if they want to execute there, which obviously is not optimal. So still 5v5 with 40 seconds left. Oh, the fadeaway nade there from Shuttle.
It was like a mailman. He just runs through it, just throws it right at him. Perfect nade. Here we are, 30 seconds, Blue. Team solo mid. Being down a player, they're looking to pick up their second win right now.
Let's see, Rogue need to force themselves in here relatively quickly. With only 18 seconds left, they've got so much control. They've forced TSM so far back, though. It's just shooting fish in a barrel, really, at this point. Down to Merc in a 1v4 scenario. He's found the diffuser. If he can delay on time, he can still win this, but no, we'll get flanked from the bottom of the stairs easily. We'll take him out, and it's Rogue to respond, tying us up at 1-1.
Merc did such a great job down low, helping to stop Habana and her hard breaches. But hey, it wasn't enough. He came up on the flank to clutch it up for his team, and he fell short. Rogue, great execution coming from up top. They were able to attack from all sides. They had no problems getting that hard breach to go into CCTV within the first, I would say, minute of the game. So here we are, tied up 1-1. For those of you that are just tuning in, this is the tiebreaker map. Rogue lost on Kafe. Hard to believe, right? 1-7 against TSM. But TSM, they had to lead on Coastline. Rogue were able to battle their way back and win that map in overtime. And with the 6 pick coming through, Crazy is going to get off of smoke. It's going to be donning Kaid.
Defenders, protect your bombs
So,
from being
here we are in the
defused by
prep
attackers.
phase. We're going to go straight to the same side as before. Hopefully TSM learned their lesson from their losses. And with Zophian play along with Thatcher, they're going to be able to help out Thermite when it comes to breaking up this reinforced wall. Once again on the west side balcony. Excuse me, east side balcony.
And of course, TSM hoping with the double electrocution setup that they can actually stop this and either successfully trick or just overwhelm Rogue with reinforcements themselves to deny the access.
10 seconds left before
Very similar strategy to what we had in the last round from them. But Rogue able to breach it already once, or he's probably wouldn't be able to do it a second time. Timing was the only real problem for them in the overall execute, but thankfully they had the map control to make up for it. Being able to force so many of the TSM roster back and kind of out of a comfort zone with either droning or just getting that wall open, and allowed for a very easy take for Rogue.
And peeping through a few bullet holes, Merc is definitely on notice now. Rogue, they know that he's playing as a roamer downstairs, and Slash Hug moving in slowly. Oh yeah, picking the gunfight, Merc! It's gonna come out on top with the first blood within the very first few seconds of the game. So TSM currently on top. Merc is a roamer. Like I said, Rogue knows that he's down there. And by trying to hunt him down, Slash Hug fell victim. And that was a pretty important win because of the fact that Slash Hug was about the second hard breach on his team.
Merc, of course, going to be dashing away there too, right after he picks up that kill. No reason to stick around now that they've got the man advantage. It should work from that. That's the key way to win the round at this point.
All right. Running across roof for a rotate. Looking in from the west side, able to look in the
Attackers have located a bomb.
little window opening
Attackers
over near
recovered the bomb
CCTV.
diffuser.
And with the drone peeking in, the C4 was currently put away by a defender on TSM.
Recovered the diffuser.
It's like this engagement is like flirting to happen any moment now, but both teams are being wary of attacking.
Walls being opened once again. giving Rogue the potential control they need in order to go for an execute, and Achieved actually kind of missing the mark. I'm trying to find some of these kills, so Vert and Easley both pick up frags. Achieved C4 does not go over the walls. I think he might have intended for it, so it's going to be a complete miss, and now the wrap coming in from Easley? No, it's going to be caught instead by Achieved, and now it's all on Shuttle, a 1v3 put before him, the opposite basically of what happened the last round. This time happens for TSM instead, and they take the control and the lead back now at 2-1.
Team USA 2018, now down by 1. This is it. They're going to have to start picking things up. They want to finally solidify their spot to land. They've struggled throughout the entirety of Stage 1. Stage 2, we've seen them in and out of these qualifiers. But finally here at the last step, TSM, they're the only team that's holding them back from making it to the USN Finals. But going straight to church in the Arsenal room, let's see if TSM can be victorious once again. They had a really, really good round and Achieved, I was just going to say it, Achieved on Kaid was the reason why. He had a really big rotation that came around and take out Vertical for the first blood, and after that he was able to get a 3K to close out the game. Once he opened things up for Team Solo Mid, they never looked back. But is that scenario going to present itself once more? That's going to be the biggest question so far. But Achieved currently 6-1. 3 of those kills coming from this site alone. See if we can go ahead and make magic happen once more.
Bolo, in the meanwhile, has had a bit of a quiet game for what we've come to expect from him. No kills so far on the board. Only 3 rounds in, though, so still plenty of time for redemption in that fact.
He's been in a funk.
Yeah, ever since,
I would say he's been in the funk.
Ever since the second half of last map.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit bumpy.
I mean, he was one of the recipes for success on Kafe. He started off map number 2 hot on the first half, and then in the second half of things, he wasn't the same playmaker that we were used to seeing.
And unfortunately, he's not been able to show up too much here on our third map either. Like I was saying before, still very early days as far as this map is concerned, so plenty of chances for him to redeem himself. As we've got Rogue already quickly moving in. Eclipse just taking quick control of Strip Club. He's going to be supported by drone intel as they start to push forward. And once again, just get that quick control over towards Kitchen and start the inevitable battle to get the hatch open there.
Slow peaks coming from Western Hallway and also Toilets. Little kill hole to take out a default cam. Eclipse is waiting for that one rotate to happen. We hear footsteps. It's going to be one of his teammates. No. It's actually going to be Slash Hug. With the drone coming out, Slash Hug was able to see it immediately. But did Eclipse see him? I don't know if he was on his camera when the tracers were coming through from the bullets. Oh, that's pretty interesting.
We'll see if they end up catching him later on in the round as a result of that.
Okay, you know what? That's me being tired. They're on the same team. I'm sorry. Yes. It's like 4 a.m. I'm losing it right now.
It's all good.
So yeah.
Both of us.
But with the hatch currently being opened in blue, Rogue has a new way to attack. 3 players currently bunched up in Armory currently. Slash Hug is bringing a drone with Eclipse and Shuttle straight down main stairs.
It's a minute and 20 seconds left here now. Once again, Rogue trying to get in position to execute, but they don't necessarily have the angles that they would like to have in order to do this. No popping of the kitchen hatch. Actually, the bar hatch open instead. So they are going to use the remaining X-Kairos charges in order to pop up in the wall, but no, it's been tricked by Achieved. Bolo also able to find his first kill of the game by knocking out Shuttle very quickly, making this an incredibly bumpy affair for Rogue. They don't have the capability to pop up a kitchen hatch either, so Arsenal's going to remain relatively safe. And still, of course, do the top-down play, but Bolo's not here to stop any further attempts to pop the wall open.
Yeah, Bolo was able to pop Buck off the map, which was pretty big over in Kitchen. Working on the second kill, he's pretty much playing footsies with the hard breach that's currently above him. The Bio's going to fall victim to Vertical, and Eclipse is going to back up his teammate getting another headshot. But the refract comes through as Bolo is able to pick up the second kill of the round. And with a Toxic Babe currently coming by, you have only 20 seconds left to go.
Need to see the play made by Rogue now. Otherwise, time is going to get the better of them here. Actually, apparently not. They can capitalize on the impatience from the members of TSM. Bolo and Achieve, though, able to trade those kills right back, thankfully. And Achieve with a quick finisher against Easily ends the round for TSM. Despite it looking like Rogue were able to get it done at the end. Just did not have that execute capability, it seems. And the backside player Achieved does fantastic work to shut down the round itself, giving TSM even further control of the lead now 3-1.
Yeah, Chief popped off. That's exactly what TSM needed. But also, Bolo was holding on to a Dunkin' Donut for the longest time. But finally, in round number 4, he was able to pick up a 3K to help out Achieved and the rest of his teammates pick up the win on that map, utilizing Legion's gunplay. And by clearing out 2 players over in Kitchen and picking up his third with a frag grenade, that was absolutely big. Was that frag grenade on the objective player?
I don't remember, to be honest.
Okay, I'm not sure, but it was a really good toss. So, jumping into round number 5, TSM currently up 3-1. We've been here before. You do not want to count Rogue out. And the site that we're currently going to,
And defuse bombs.
I wasn't able to catch it. There we go.
Gym bedroom.
Gym and bedroom for the first time so far. 5 rounds.
So first time we go to this one, I think that TSM is wanting to shift a little bit away from Cash and CCTV. 1, because they just won it. And 2, since Rogue did bring a little bit of firepower to the table on that side, they might be a tad worried. So we'll see if they decide to go back to it, if they're given the opportunity to play onto it again, or if they're going to stick with this third site that they now try to get control over.
All right. Rogue, let's see what you got. Must be stressful to be fighting from behind throughout the entire series. They never start off the game in the lead at all.
Definitely not a good position to be in, but you know, we've already seen evidence that they can recover from it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not
Attackers'
an
objective is to
excuse,
locate
so
a
to
bomb
speak.
and defuse
I mean, that's the thing about Rogue, their identity, especially online. They're a really scrappy team that makes, you know, something happen from nothing. You never know what to expect when it comes to them. And that pretty much explains what happened over there on Coastline. It's almost as if we saw 2 different teams on that side. So Eclipse picking up his drone, and he's going to move on towards his teammates on the roof right now. You see the outline of a player on the 2nd floor currently roaming around for Team Solo Mid. We're going the opposite direction. We see Habana utilizing her emote, Hard Breaches.
That's going to be pretty much free pop. Shouldn't really be anyone actively denying that, since it's on the other side now. So Habana's going to be able to get access to CCTV Cache with pretty much no resistance whatsoever. It's the inside of Gym bedroom, obviously, where we've got the setup for the defenders. Until they get into the way of this one. Speaking of which, we're going to have a few players right up against the wall against them. Shuttle, ready to pop this open. I think just wants to distract Achieve potentially before he goes for it. Drone thrown in against him. That door, yeah, did not get open just yet. Window anyway. Vert, however, still able to strike. Eventually finds Achieved, knocks him out. Gets the objective kill that they were looking for, and now, I mean, has a little bit of a box in that they can play within Gym.
All right. Oh, the defensive position set up by Bio and Jim didn't pay off. He ran out to peek Vertical, but Vertical got the best of him. So with a headshot coming on him, Castle and Jaeger are going to be taking out the game. Roll currently up all players right now. Vertical the only one that took damage so far, but with a hop out from Merc, he's going to try to even the odds with a nice headshot.
Crazy as well. Potentially going to roll the dice, although Drone probably going to kill that plan.
Little does he know, if he tosses, it's right. Like,
Did it, oh, I think
oh,
he
he
got
shot it midair.
Yeah, he got shot. So much for that one. In the meantime, Bolo, Jesus. Polo is going to end up losing his life trying to take a duel. Shuttle also ends up finding Merc, and with the forced runaround from Crazy, easily will box him out. Rogue respond, take control of yet another round themselves, setting us up 3-2 now. One more round left on TSM's defense.
There you have it, Rogue starting off strong. Merc tried to answer back, but being down a player, by the time Merc finally got his kill from his hop out in garage, it was still way too late. Bio was holding down a great defensive position over in Gym with plenty of opportunities to go ahead and run out and try to be the playmaker for his roster, and when he finally did, the timing wasn't right. Vertical found his head, put a cap in it. Rogue ran away with the win. Great one. So, Maestro being 6th-picked in the Maestro. Oh, that's next level. Next level.
We call pro gamer move.
That's
see, but you see, they did the same with the Buck on the other team too.
That's meta as
Attackers need to
hell.
locate and defuse
Okay.
bombs.
Really keeping them guessing.
That's like when Cloud9 dropped axing and picked him back up. Like, no one expected it. Keeps him guessing. All right. So, Bio on Maestro. Let's see how they fare here. One more round until the role swap, as TSMs will be playing defense for the last time this half. probably this map.
Also go overtime, of course.
Yeah, probably.
Which is not looking like that's too far out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, it's back and forth. It's a little seesaw battle. Both teams, they can't figure out if they want to dominate or not, and Rogue keeps answering back whenever TSM wins a round. But someone's going to have to go ahead and break that combo and try to be different for once. Pick up a little streak if you can, Rogue.
The question really for Rogue is, like, can we see the consistency show up that can then push them ahead in this game? Because right now, like, if they go on a trading spree with TSM still ultimately wins it. But we don't necessarily know how TSM's attacking side is going to end up working on this map just yet. Their defensive side, we've already seen, it's definitely a little bit more hit or miss because of the limited roam capability that you kind of have on this map compared to some of the others.
Well, Rogue, so the difference between the way Rogue wins compared to a lot of other teams, we see a lot of, 1vx's, great clutch scenarios. That's not happening on Rogue's end. When Rogue wins, they have 3 to 4 people left alive. They're almost flawless victories. So that means that they're all being extremely strategic, taking their time, using their strategy to go ahead and dismantle whatever TSM throws their way. And with Zofia coming into play, easily looking to place down the exothermic charge. Currently being patient, a little prone battle, easily. Saw bullet. Oh yeah, some of those charges fell off, but he's gonna get rid of that castle barricade. And with a cook grenade, the barricade is gonna go down, and yeah, the ADS is gonna zap it from midair.
So it's going to eat up the other one. We're going to see some damage taken by the Doc in the meantime, back over on the inside of Garage. That, I believe, came from Easily. However, of course, it's Doc, so he's going to be able to stim himself right back up, and he'll be in full HP in basically no time. A little bit of intel should find the Maestro hiding on the inside, and as well reconfirm the position of the Doc in just a second, but he actually doesn't go that far with the drone in order to check that. Either way, should still have pretty good confidence that the Doc's going to be in there. Oh, maybe not. He's looking like he might be ready to peek this hallway. So if they misread the Doc situation, that could be pretty fatal.
It easily looked like it was about that life for a second.
I think he did back away though. So
Yeah,
I think he is aware of the Doc still.
Yeah, he jumped down actually. He's not going to test that at all. As Bolo is still holding on strong to that angle.
Blow it up.
He's waiting for that fight to go ahead and be initiated, and holding down Bar right now is going to be 2 players from Team Solo Mid. Last time it was just Merc, but now Achieved is down there as well.
Trying to flash out the players down there so that they cannot counter out the X-Kairos breach. And I don't know if it's worked or not.
Well, so far, Rogue slowed down the attempt to go ahead and breach, and they sent a player down there to pretty much stop Rogue. But with the skeleton keys in play up close, Shuttle is going to go ahead and get the best of Crazy. But Shuttle is able to get a double kill, and a flurry of kills come through, and Rogue just dominates. That was way too fast.
I mean,
that was extremely fast.
You were saying it before, Rogue making something out of nothing, right?
Yeah.
That's quite literally the definition of that. They get 1 or 2 kills and they just swarm.
Yeah,
everybody jumps in.
Yeah.
Call for everybody go in, and from that point forward, they kind of just win their fights and trade to victory. And
I was actually shocked. He crouch walked in there with skeleton keys, and I was like, is he really gonna do the entry fragger with skeleton keys? And he makes it happen. Great play, opening up cash room.
So that is actually the worst half yet we've seen from TSM so far in this matchup. Prior to this, they started, if I remember correctly, 5-1
Yeah.
and 4-2. So they've slowly been working their way down on the overall scoreboard, as now they've ended a half 3-3 against Rogue, coming off their defensive side of Clubhouse.
So Rogue on defense, they're able to split. That's rough. This map heavily favors defensive teams. Rogue winning half of that engagement in the first half, this should be their game to win. This should be their game to win. All they need are 4 more rounds. Vertical on top, currently 7-3, doing a lot of work. He's going to be on Jaeger. So with a great gun in his arsenal, he's going to be able to put in a lot of great shots to put Rogue ahead. But it's going to be all up to TSM. See if Bio, Achieved, and the rest of those members are able to pick things up.
Let's find out for Rogue if the defensive side will be their ultimate salvation to send them onward to land after failing to do so in Stage 1, having to play in so many different qualifiers here, even in Stage 2 as well, just in order to make it into this bracket once again. Already made it past their first series of opponents in the previous section of it, but now in a best of 3, TSM has truly tested them. Especially when it came to Kafe, gave them their first loss since its reinception. And on top of that, nearly took them out on Coastline.
Yeah,
Clubhouse has been a different beast.
yeah.
Rogue's looked a lot more solid so far here.
Yeah, Rogue, they definitely look like they're more comfortable. They're more at home. Everything is way more fluid. Their pace, you know, it's not sporadic. They're not fighting against time most of the time when they were on attack. Usually we saw them at 20 seconds and no way to get into the site. Last round proved that, you know, hey, they could just run in at will and just make anything happen. But currently peeking down in the blue is going to be Merc. He's been a huge playmaker for this roster lately, and TSM, they're going to need that. They're going to depend on him to go ahead and open things up. There's going to be 2 players running in and out of blue, so it's going to be all up if he can catch one in rotation.
Clipston, meanwhile, here probably going to be tested in a moment as the bar hatch is potentially going to be opened up. Crazy trying to breach it. And should be able to get it popped open. Pretty sure this one's going to go uncontested this time around. As the electric claws have already been deployed in both positions, so don't believe there's a way for K to try and trick things and slow this down even further. 1.5 minutes, and TSM does have these angled opened up, but it's going to be Shuttle instead that strikes first, finding Bolo taking out the Hibana for TSM.
All right, Evil Eye shooting drones off the floor. So Rogue, they're pretty much anti-intel right now. With an Evil Eye currently looking straight into main staircase. It's going to be hard for TSM to go ahead and advance.
Once again, the Evil Eye just trying to knock out some drones if it can find them. In the meantime, the execute, well, it's going to be seen. Unfortunately, it's a split execute this time around from TSM, whereas Rogue have been trying solidified pushes. And now TSM is going to pay the price for that. Biologic finally getting a kill for this team as he takes out Vert, and that does kind of bring them back into it. At a 4v3 situation, TSM can still recover. It's not going to be easy. Someone's going to have to go off.
With a squad of drones going down, it made that kill just that much easier. That's why he was able to pick up that wall bang to clean up that last one. But here we are in the 3v4. We have a second Toxic Babe currently going out with 20 seconds left to go. It's going to be enough to slow down this push.
Third also thrown out just to confirm.
15 seconds remaining.
Now the wraparound from him to try and just finish things off. Drops the diffuser. He's got the shotty ready in case they try to push him. Slash, however, finds achieved, and Biologic falls shortly after that one for Rogue to claim a convincing round number 1 on the defense. Also puts them ahead at 4-3.
Where is this Rogue at map 1? Where is this Rogue at first half of map number 2? This is the Rogue that I'm used to seeing. Going back to their dominant ways, winning outright, and making it look kind of easy on their end. Everything was absolutely perfect. You have the Evil Eyes zapping drones. People are winning their 1Vs. The great flank coming in from Easy with the SMG-11 to be able to take down the objective player. And just the patience to be able to back up and let his teammate come in to clean up the kill right after him. Rogue, they're playing lights out right now. And if Team Solo Mid cannot slow them down within this round or the next, I'm going to say Rogue, there's going to outright go straight to 7 with no issues at all.
It's got to be this side of the next. Because if Rogue just complete the rotation and get a basement round again, I don't think TSM is winning the basement attack.
No, not at all.
Unless they're able to figure out how to abuse the positions from Rogue earlier, like through hatches, and they can just like give themselves a little bit more time to play with. Maybe there's hope for TSM, but
I don't even think time is an issue for TSM. It's just Rogue just running in the site and just dominating. I mean, we saw what they did in Cash, and now defending this area. If they can repeat what they did last round, that's going to be a hard pill to swallow.
5 seconds to go.
all right, well, here we go, guys. TSM's coming out onto the board in just a moment. Easily will be the player stuck on the inside of the garage, trying to fend out pressure from there. Eclipse, of course, will just support him with one of his Prismas. Second one going to go down in the second here, too, or maybe not. There we go, just trying to set a few of those. The Prismas aren't really that important at the end of the day. They never really end up making a round-defining play. Normally, you end up picking that operator more so for her gun spread instead of her utility.
All right, Hibana joining out Jim right now, also bedroom hallway. She's going to make sure the coast is clear before she goes ahead and breaches through this wall. And there you have it. Utilizing a buddy system with Slash. It's going to be Merc. They're going to work their way from the back end while the rest of the teammates try to work their way in from CCTV and also Garage.
Sledge, of course, wasting no time with self-destruction, trying to give his team a little bit more intel to play off of. Slash going to be forced back after TSM send in that Gershmut charge in order to make the breaching of the wall that much easier. And they do it incredibly early. Under a minute into the round, and they already have the balcony door open into the site.
All right, currently fighting for his life in stock room. Shooting out every drone that he sees. There's going to be 2 players from Rogue that's trying to currently move in. But Achieved, he's holding on strong right now, waiting for the first player to come and try to push him. But I don't think they have any idea where he is currently. But Rogue, they don't have to push. They just have to be patient because Achieved, he's going to have to eventually come to them.
Both of the breach charges are going to be chucked out right there. Or get a little bit of extra damage, I believe, but not any going to be found at this point. You still have Bandit trying to trick as well from the backside. He's able to pick up the battery. Might still have a chance at pulling off this trick right here, but of course, Achieved trying to catch this player and is not going to have much success in doing that. Crazy also, it's caught on an aggressive run out.
The timing was so bad. The moment he looked away, it was the same moment the player peeked in from Cash.
Second attempt to pop up an X-Cairo is going to go out here as well now. Sounds like it's going unrestricted. So they've got their capability to push back in. They know where the Bandit's positioned at. And they have intel to play off of on that regard. Achieved and Slash will trade blows, however, with Slash trying to make plays for himself and the rest of his teammates. Trying to wrap around, but no. Somehow didn't initially get caught by that Claymore. I think it was over by the second window, which is why it takes an extra second. Either way, trips him up. Knocks TSM out of an additional player. Doesn't mess Rogue out just yet, though, as Merc can still take a good position. Find the trade for the loss of his teammate from a few seconds ago. Well, Merc himself was down. He's not going to be finished. The impact grenade does the job instead. And the quick follow-up from the Storm. Eclipse finishes things off in beautiful fashion for Rogue as they continue to show their dominance on this defensive side. 2 more rounds to go, and the map is theirs.
The impact grenade and the headshot. He took that round quite easily. Rogue, another impressive win against Team Solomon. Now up 5-3. This has been extremely impressive, man. Rogue were questionable. Their inconsistency started to show, but now this isn't the best of 1. This is the best of 3. They're able to correct their mistakes, and now they're 2 rounds away from running away with this to secure a spot at land. We're easily on Castle. He's going to switch over to Valkyrie. Going to go again to Gym and Bedroom.
That is ultimately showing the strength of Rogue, though, as it definitely seems like they're a team that can adjust as necessary over the course of a much longer matchup.
I agree.
When compared to TSM, at least in tonight's match. Because to be fair to TSM, we saw some good results from them out of the Raleigh qualifiers. In fact, they qualified through those qualifiers. But I think that they were able to close out against a lot of teams in much quicker fashion in those qualifiers, and as a result of that, weren't really strung out and tested like this.
But you know, it's pretty unfortunate as well that Team Solomon, like they're able to hang in this game for so long, especially for the fact that Pojo, man, one of their more dynamic players, their more dynamic recent players that recently joined the roster, he's not playing right now. They're playing with Crazy. Crazy is playing an extremely passive role for this team, but Pojo, man, has been a clutch player. He's been a playmaker. He's been making a lot of plays for TSM, which attributes to the fact that they have been extremely successful as of late. So I still give my hats. If they wind up losing this game, I wouldn't be too upset if I were them. You're playing without one of your most important players, and you're still sticking it to Rogue.
Okay, guys, so TSM once again out on the prowl for the attack here. This is the last real site that Rogue are going to end up playing on before TSM have to attack the same sites a second time around, and that's a good start. Able to catch the aggressive tendencies from Easily there in the early round. Where was he? Yeah, right by the window. So managed to catch him, potentially trying to get aggressive, but more than likely just on a lucky cross catch. Either way, it's a good start for TSM and something that they absolutely needed to get them back into this game quickly.
Yeah, we saw a lot from Merc and Bolo earlier on in the series, but it's really been Achieved who's really stepped it up big time for TSM. Getting that early first kill on Easily, that's exactly what they needed. A little bit of drone play coming through CCTV and also Cash. Bolo and the rest of his teammates are trying to find the best way of attack. The nice breach coming in towards CCTV. That balcony is going to be heavily dominated by TSM. But Abana, she's trying to work her way in from hot tubs currently. No, it's going to be Crazy, excuse me. It's going to be Thermite. But Crazy is going to go ahead and get the kill on Slash Hug. Great kill for TSM. Rogue currently down 2 players. This is TSM's chance to go ahead and strike back.
Attempted pop open the door is going to be working its way in here now. Shuttle's going to try to get aggressive inside of his own. What is this? The aggressive.
Wow.
Oh my god, it worked too. The aggressive smoke grenade around. The problem is it does cause that to happen. It mispositions Shuttle aggressively. Leads to him getting forced out into the open like that and very easily traded. Now down to just Eclipse. He's trying his best to play this, but ultimately he's locked in a 1v4 here.
Playing it carefully, jumping out the window. Oh yeah, Bio. His Claymore is going to get the best of Eclipse. TSM, they're going to go ahead and win round number 9. That's what they needed to snap the streak that Rogue was currently starting to build up from.
That Claymore's making them some money these last few rounds, man. That's the second round in a row that Claymore's got a kill.
Same window.
Yep, same exact window, I think, too.
Same window. All right, so now going to Church and Arsenal Room. Rogue, show me what you got. We saw great plays coming in from Bolo when he was Legion underneath Kitchen Hatch. And Kitchen Hatch was pretty hard for Rogue to go ahead and breach through. But now that the sides are flipped, Shuttle's going to be on Legion, and Eclipse is going to be on Post, an operator that we haven't seen this map, I think. So that's going to be great for being able to pick out where each one of these players are on TSM, if he happens to stay in range.
I think as well just get them a better idea for how exactly these like hatch attempts are going to end up playing out, as you can give them a little bit more advanced intel about how many players are trying to push it. Meantime, you can see the stats department there. Achieve definitely dominating for TSM with 11 frags. The next highest teammate was closer to 6 or 5, so
yeah,
pretty large leader in the stats department there showing up for TSM.
It's pretty much like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of performance from TSM. You know, some players that, you know, were loud earlier on in the series are now quiet, and, you know, vice versa. Crazy's the only one who really hasn't been a standout player, but given his role, he's not expected to be that type of guy. He's the objective guy. He does the dirty work for his team. And the stats aren't going to work out in his favor because of that exact reason. But with an Evil Eye coming in, Blue, it's going to be looking in the Church. Great position, great kill holster, to be able to zap lasers through.
I feel like the inconsistency that, like, you know, Mr. Jekyll thing you were talking about before is almost becoming like the hallmark for TSM, though.
Yeah.
And it's that fact that almost every single player on the team can show up at any time with some crazy plays like that is...
Like Rogue.
Yeah, like, you know, like a lot of teams in NA, to be completely honest with you. But it's the inconsistency of it which unfortunately, you know, throws questions into the air. Questions that unfortunately we haven't been able to find the answers to, and probably won't know until after Raleigh. But it's an interesting style that they've taken to Siege, of course, as a lot of teams have been doing recently. I think like Rex started this trend. And a lot of their teams like TSM have not necessarily followed in their footsteps, but have followed the trend.
Pretty much at a standstill, so to say, with drones coming through. For Team Solo Mid, pretty much both teams, this is expected. Hatches are starting to open up, and it's pretty much a chess game. Shuttle and the rest of his teammates are trying to do their best to stop these hatches from exploding with impact nades and some gunfire, but they haven't been successful as of yet. Post still holding on behind this bar, able to see a little bit of heartbeats. Pretty sure the call-outs are coming in smooth for Rogue at the moment, but coming down main stairs is going to be crazy. And let's see if he can be sneaky with either gunplay or utility use. I'm not sure what he wants to do right now.
Well, a minute and 20 seconds left in a moment. TSM are going to have to start working their way over towards the 90 hall walls to try and pop those open if that is going to be their intended goal once again. Still focusing on the hatch for the moment, though. Here's an attempt to try and pop it open. I don't know if the defenders still have the capability to trick, as they have been forced back quite aggressively, too. But as far as I can tell, it looks like the hatch was successfully breached. It's given them a little bit more access to the arsenal now. There you go. You can see it right before you. Still has to get a drone to the inside of it, though, in order to find the necessary intel as to the positions of the members from Rogue further into that site.
Bolo still holding on strong in the kitchen area with a teammate of his. And Eclipse, he hasn't been touched. He's running around gathering all types of intel for his teammates. With 40 seconds left to go, TSM have yet to make any type of serious push downstairs. Finally it happens, and Achieved and Crazy are going to be the first two to fall.
Bolo with their strike back from Kitchen. He doesn't necessarily have his right to drop down that hatch. He can't follow up for more kills unless he wants to risk his own life in the process easily. We'll find Bio next, and Slash will grab Merc. It's just Bolo left up in Kitchen now, and he too is going to be sniped out by Easily. Rogue with another round sets them up on map, match, and series point.
This would be an amazing win for them. This would be an amazing win. Rogue has been tried and tested this entire time. The great run during USN 2018 and winning the championship there being Team USA. This time around, every team has been gunning for them. They've had a target on their back, and no one wanted to give them an easy win, and it showed. Every time we saw Rogue on stream here at USN, they've struggled. They've copped a lot of losses, a lot of L's. But here on stage 2, all they need is one more win against Team Solo Mid. A new team this year. They're going to have to try to make this comeback, winning 2 rounds in a row, and then 2 after that.
Otherwise, we're going to be seeing them at the start of Stage 3, along with all of the other teams that have to re-attempt their run, as they were either knocked out here in the conference qualifiers or failed to make it even that far.
I want to see Evil Geniuses really bad. Really, really bad. Now that Geo has his visa, there's going to be so many good teams coming. I want to see Two-Faced. I want to see Leftovers again. I want to see a temp number. I really want to see a temp number again. The team that fell against Space Station Gaming because of the character skin thing. I want to see them back. We're going to see a lot of heavy hitters coming in for Stage 3.
We'll see which conference EG decides to play into, because last year they played in the East Conference.
So the question is that strategic between the Tier 1 teams when they enter these brackets?
It wouldn't surprise me if they talk about it amongst each other.
We see it split.
There's no ruling to there's no ruling to split the region necessarily.
Yeah.
You can your team can be based on the West Coast and play on the East Coast.
Strategic.
Bomb located
So
by attackers.
if EG wanted to flip from last year and play on West Coast, which would make more sense considering that they're all, or most of them anyway, I think are in Seattle right now.
Yeah.
In team apartments and stuff like that. So, but we'll see.
All right. Merc utilizing a breaching charge, opening up a lane to get into the building. And the rest of his teammates are currently trying to find a way into CCTV. Shuttle's going to run away because of Zofia currently stunning him with her utility. And there goes the wall. Opening it up. It's going to be up to Roll. Can they hold off TSM for one more round? This Merc works his way into construction. There's a hatch open from underneath. I'm pretty sure there's a player in the bar area. But this is it. Tensions are currently high with 2 minutes left to go.
Step 1 complete. This is step 2 where Bolo is now trying to pop open the other wall. That'll give them complete access and complete vision to both cache and CCTV. Force the defenders to play off-site for the retake, which is a situation they do not want to put themselves into. In the meantime, first kill also found. Shuttle trying to find a way to leverage out a bit of aggression here, but is not going to find it so easily, at least not under these circumstances.
Such a big blow with smoke going down so early in the game with the clips. It's going to be the victim of first blood, so no toxic babes to be used. Oh, and Achieved is able to catch Shuttle out of place, but easily with the run out, was able to clean up that kill.
Defender is approaching
Just
the
late,
zone.
by 2 seconds from being able to help out his teammate. Running down cash stairs is going to be Slash Hug, avoiding some shots, but with some shots coming in from Blue as well. Vertical is going to try to peek it. A little bit of health. The player's going to be right underneath him. With the diffuser currently going down with 4 more seconds left to go. Merc slowly working his way up, and with a Nitro Cell coming into play, Slash Hug is able to take out Bolo, but it's going to be too little too late. As the diffuser currently goes down, it's going to be a 3v3 situation. Can Roll close it out? Stim shots coming in from Doc to heal up his teammates. All of Roll, they're primed and ready to go, but with the first down coming through, Bio is able to break the ice.
They don't have anyone else upstairs right now.
No.
They could defuse right now if they wanted to push back in.
Oh, wow.
Oh, they may have just lost that chance, though, because Vert takes out Merc. That killed their cross. Now they can run back upstairs and retake these positions. And unfortunately, TSM never realized that they had a chance to run it and steal this defuse away to begin with. So, more than likely, Rogue is not going to have a chance to retake this. Slash with a trade. He does find the second one, though. Can he get onto it in time?
Not enough time.
Oh.
No. Is it? No.
No, I mean...
He just went for the kill.
Yeah, he just confirmed the
KD.
kill, so even he knew he didn't have it.
Oh. If he had like 2 more seconds.
Would have been able to pull it off, but...
At least he got his kill. Hey.
How did the stats? That's what matters.
Make it look good.
So guys, we go to round 12 to decide this. Rogue still with the potential to end the series now.
Don't choke it, Rogue.
TSM, however, wanting to take us to a second overtime. And they will be able to attack the same site.
Not like this, Rogue. Rogue, you have to finish this out. I just have a feeling. That if TSM wins this to go to overtime, Rogue won't win. I feel like Rogue has to close it out right here, right now. The scariest thing about TSM, A lot of these guys are really new when it comes to this high-level play, when it comes to these Tier 1 teams.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
And they're excited. Their backs are against the wall. They have nothing to lose and everything to prove. Rogue, on the other end, they're defending their title, you know? Defending champions. You're going against these young gunners, and it's like, okay, hey, this is it. All we have to do is win one more round. And when you lose that round, and the opposing team has one more round left to go to tie things up, you're like, okay, why aren't we winning these rounds? What the hell is actually happening? So this will be up to TSM. And the young gunners have what it takes. That's the scary part about this.
10 seconds to go.
Okay, well, TSM, once again, one more chance put in front of them here in order to bring this back. Take us into overtime in order to decide the outcome of the matchup.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
Let's see if they're going to be able to pull it off. Or if easily can maybe pick something out here in the early round as well to lower those chances. He does try to go for a very slight spawn peek. He's going to do some great damage over to Bolo, but is not going to be able to confirm the kill. Thankfully, he's docked, so we can fall back on the small amount of health that he did lose. Can quickly heal it back up.
All right, a little bit of post play coming in from Eclipse over in Strip Club. He's having a good time, spending more time than expected in there. It's pretty bad on your economy, but you see a rotating dock. And with a little peek in the pre-fire, it's not going to connect, but knocking on that barricade. He's going to try to pick up a shot, and Bolo is going to be the one to get the first kill of the round.
It's that revenge from earlier. That was the same player that tried to kill him just at the beginning of the round. Instead, gets the better of Easily, takes him out. That's TSM one step closer, 20% of the way to triggering overtime.
This is it. The pressure is all up on Team Solomid to go ahead and tie this up, but also on the end of Rogue.
Sensor activated.
The pressure's on them to not crumble under pressure. With the cardiac sensor giving off his position, Eclipse is trying to get the peek and the angle. 2 steps ahead from the opposing player that he was going against. He was still unable to walk away with the shot that he needed.
Oh.
Yeah,
Attackers have
that drone
located a
got
bomb.
clapped in midair.
Jump right on top of that pest, so bye-bye to that drone. Probably going to get shot out. So he's still relatively close to the attacking squad.
But Eclipse is still moving closer, though.
Overall, Rogue are slowly losing ground here, I would say. TSM are getting closer and closer indeed to a successful execute. However, that's the first sign of a strike back we've seen all around here. Eclipse, with a good find on the Nitro Cell, does take out their Thermite. Unsure of how many of those charges were used, but it could have potentially taken out a good amount of TSM's utility.
Oh my gosh. So close. But I was just waiting just for that pixel key.
What's in the way? What's blocking it?
Oh, there you have it. Shuttle on the rotate. He's going to go ahead and get popped by Achieve. Nice headshot coming from Team Solomid. Now down 2 players. It's all up to Rogue. Are they going to be able to close this game out? Rotation up cash stairs. It's going to be Pulse. He's going to get close to his teammates. Now that time is starting to wind down. 30 seconds left to go. This is it. TSM, they want to take this.
TSM has also shown a fantastic ability to late round execute on this site. Despite the low time, you can see how pushed back Rogue has been. TSM has great control over this site. They just don't have players necessarily in position to force the issue if that becomes a necessity. Thankfully, I don't think it'll be the case. Nitro Cell going to the door. This should stop the plant. There you go. He lost his teammate in the process, though. Eclipse is going to end up on the ground as well. Slash has got to stop this all right now. He doesn't have a second Nitro Cell in order to prevent it, so it will go onto the ground. He's over to a shotgun. Wrong pre-plant position. He's in the wrong spot. Polo finishes off both of the remaining players from Rogue, and we will go to overtime to settle it. Not done just yet.
No. He looked to his left, but little did he know it was on his other left.
Same plant position as the first one that he stopped.
Yeah. I'm stressed, Blue. This is it, overtime. Whichever team wins 2 rounds within the next 3 will move on and make it to land. This is it. It's for all the cookies.
Well, this run and the next one at least, we'll decide that.
Oh, Rogue. Oh, there were so many bad rotations coming in from Rogue, and Achieved was able to pick off both of those players in the same spot.
Yeah, I don't know if the new Zofia play of sending the Gashmat charges in through the drone hole has made the wall untrickable or something like that, but it seems like Attack is just doing way better on this site overall just because of, you cannot stop that you cannot, as far as I've seen in this game anyway, it doesn't look like you can trick when you get hit by that. Like, it's like an
Yeah, that's why they bring a shield to go ahead and block off that drone.
Yeah. So that at least stops it, or at least slows it down, but it seems like the attack has way more power over that site when you execute in that fashion.
Oh, so rough. All right, we're going straight down to the bottom, the basement. Armory and Church. This Rogue, they're going to go ahead and pray for a win. Because the last two, all they needed was one round. One round. Couldn't take it. TSM was able to find a way. Great clutch by Bolo. Getting a 2K to end the game. This is it.
5 seconds to insertion.
So,
Attackers are moving out
into
to
our
locate
final
bomb
rounds
and
now. Rogues still have the luxury of defense to start out on. But it's going to be TSM staying on the attack. We'll get to see if they can find some strength here to attack the basement and find any success off of that, or if Rogue will be able to bounce back, now claim another round for themselves, and again, put them up on match point.
All right. Slash hug on Maestro. That's a very dangerous operator in his hands. The out of 5.56. He's pretty much mastered everything about Maestro. So to see him in a comfortable position is definitely key. With Merc peeking in towards Blue, he's now going to send a drone in there. He doesn't want to risk being a victim of first blood. Now moving in towards Garage, he's looking to see if he can find a goo mine or two. He's able to pop one right off the ground. Taking their time slowly but surely. They have nothing but time on their hands. This is where TSM, they're going to have to play like veterans.
Merc, of course, doing a whole lot of exploration here. Still not finding much, though, in the early round TSM, and there's not really much of a reason why you would expect them to be able to find much. Rogue plays very close to the chest on this site, as a lot of teams are doing right now.
There's a lot of patience coming in from Merkson, but hitting that barbed wire is definitely going to give off the audio cue to Rogue. As the Evil Eye is able to spot him and zap him a few times, take away a little bit of health. But Bolo and Co, they're having a lot of trouble in kitchen currently trying to get that hatch open. Now under a minute and 30 seconds, things are starting to get serious. Victor Call going out and the goo mine gets stepped on.
Clips still looking for his own pickup. Possibilities going to be given to him, but nothing being found just yet. Thankfully, the blockage of that wall being opened is still holding strong for Rogue. So TSM has not been given the room they need in order to work their way onto the site. But at the same time, TSM still has just over a minute to work with on executes. They're not really pressed for time at all just yet. Crazy, though. Going to slowly start working his way into the site. He ends up walking right into Vert, though, who's still very firmly planted in Arsenal right now. He's ready to take, in fact, another fight. He's got to be a little bit careful, though. He still has a few players on top of him. I could very easily trade him out if he overexposes by the soft wall. In the meantime, Vert finds an additional pickup against Bolo, taking him out of the fray. Leaving Rogue with a 2+ man advantage now.
When you need him, he comes. Vert with the amazing double kill to help Rogue out big time. All 5 players currently alive, but both of the hard breachers are currently gone. But Achieved is finally going to answer back for TSM, but Eclipse is going to shut that down. Taking out Bio. 2v4. Rogue looking to win the first round of overtime, but peeking towards tunnel right now. Merc offers in the first shot, but Slash Hug is going to be the victor. And fighting from on top of the hatch, there's not much that Achieve can currently do. And picking out his pistol, Vertical closes out the round with a headshot. Rogue once again on series map point.
Qualifying point for the LAN as well. Question is, can they win another round on attacking side here? And thankfully, this is where, in my opinion, they were able to thrive a lot more consistently.
Yeah.
They were against TSM, seem to have a lot more control over the round, at least. So let's see if they can get the close out here. Assumably, it's going to be against another basement attack. Now, to be fair,
Yeah.
this is also where TSM had very solid rounds on their defense.
I don't think they lost in basement. Did they?
No, I don't think so.
No.
So-
Yeah, they did extremely well here.
So 7-7 is pretty likely.
Yeah.
For the same reason, like they delayed, they delayed the hatch opening pretty much indefinitely. Also caused a lot of issues when they tried to get that sidewall open that went in the church too. So TSM doing a very good job of denying really any control for this attack from Rogue in the same way that Rogue was denying the same from TSM in the last round.
All right. Rogue, make us proud. Slash on top, 13-8. Right behind him, Vertical, 12-9, and Shuttle in the double digits as well with 10 kills.
A lot of players going to see and a lot of frags here with another map going the distance. This is 2 maps in a row now that have gone to overtime between these two teams, which is a Interesting paradigm from what we had on the first map, which was a 7-1, almost the exact opposite of the outcomes of these other two. Good start for TSM, but obviously they've had their fair share of struggles following up that first map. They're on the brink of being eliminated here. Knocked all the way back to the start of the open qualifiers in stage 3. If they can't bring this back here and now.
I'm excited to see what Achieved is going to do right now. But way off site this time. Pretty unorthodox setup by him. You see Merc pretty much roaming as a Jaeger. It's pretty much expected. But Achieved's position, I wonder what the end game is going to be. Peeking in a bar, he's waiting for the rotation to come through from Rogue to catch them off guard. And this is the best time to throw a different type of strategy like that. They played the side a few times and it's a different look. So whatever it takes to get the W is risky, but if it works, it's going to pay off extremely well.
Well, Vert in position. Rest of the team still trying to set up as well. Only just now moving Slash into the building itself to start looking for that kitchen control and eventually, of course, take the very, very long battle to try and pop that open, as Shuttle's also going to be opening up some opportunities for them on the soft floorboards here in that main first floor hallway, and probably around that kitchen hatch once they move in and get control there. In fact, it's actually like a few of them were already trying to go downstairs, but I think they're pulling it back pretty quickly here. I was going to say maybe they were going to try to bypass, just attempting to get that hatch open.
I'm starting to get excited, yeah.
Yeah, it's like kind of seeming like a futile effort over these last few rounds, but it's not looking like they've committed to this execute downstairs early.
Shuttle able to pop a drone over an armor. He's able to count out how many players are there exactly. So Bonner's going to toss out a few of those X-Kairos to open up the bottom part of that wall. And with some drone work, she's able to peek right into church. Barely dodging a shot from Kai. Drone finally gets shot out, and Slash Out is going to try it one more time. But with an Electric Claw coming out, he's going to stop any attempt of any type of hard breach.
Drones activated.
All right, this is it.
Recovered the diffuser.
Minute and 5 seconds left to go. Can Rogue finally close it out? Team Solo Mid, can they hold off the attack? From the stockroom hatch,
Babes in position.
Vertical tucks his feet behind him, and the Toxic Babe comes out. He sees it well, and a rotation's going to be made. He's not able to get any clear line of sight right now to make a difference in the round.
Slash still waiting to see if he can find anything from this tiny little hole he's been able to pop open. It's not going to be enough for an execute, unfortunately. Rogue are kind of stuck at the gates right now, and this is not looking good for their overall capability to get into the site. Clips, and Vert again with a great start. The blue push works wonders for Rogue. Another one going to be picked up by them too, and now it's all down to Achieved in a 1v5. That TSG not going to be able to do what needs to be done, and as such, Rogue will take control of the matchup in overtime, 8-6, the same scoreline that they won Coastline on. And off of that, Rogue will be our third team qualified for the Rainbow Six Season 2 USN LAN Finals.
I've never been so happy and sad in my life. You see the MVP right now is going to be Slash Hug on Habana, the second hard breacher for this team. TSM fought so hard to get here. Almost close to get out on Coastline, but they didn't have enough gas in the tank. But meanwhile, Rogue, the veteran team, Team USA 2018, were able to fight back with the comeback, able to win Coastline, outright winning Clubhouse as well in overtime, looking like they almost were going to choke it. They were able to win in overtime undefeated, and that's going to be it. Take a look at the highlights. That was a great game to close things out in the Western Conference.
Impressive comeback overall with the course of this series from Rogue. It really shows you how solid of a team they are and why they've invested so heavily into this roster despite some kind of lulls in their success over the past few months. And gives, I think, their fan base a lot of good hope for what could potentially come at Raleigh, considering there's going to be a lot more of these extended best-of-3 series from them when they get on to land there. It's going to be a fun affair, to be sure. And for TSM, obviously a little bit more work still needing to be done. A lot of power in this young team, but seem to struggle as they entered the third map.
You know what we need? TSM, they have money, man. In the chat, we need hashtag get Pojo a visa. We need Pojo playing with this team in USN. If they went this far with Crazy, who's a sub, imagine how far they would go if they had one of their more dynamic players in the game. This was such a nice kill from Shuttle. Great game from Shuttle, by the way. But yeah, man, Pojo was needed for Team Solomon, but still hats off to them, the fact that they even took it to Rogue, like, you know, in the fashion that they did. Great gameplay from both sides. GG's all around. I want to see more. I'm not ready for this to end tonight, Blue. I'm tired, but it's like I'm wired.
Well, unfortunately, this match, anyway, has ended up coming to a close with Rogue, like I said before, Rogue just barely managing to sneak through it and come out on top, especially after a very bumpy ride that they started with back on Kafe. Only a single round picked up from them on that very first map. Meanwhile, TSM's players, we were seeing Merc and Bola, specifically on those first 2 maps, just go off constantly. Unfortunately, we would see them, especially Bolo, later falter off a little bit. Merc as well had his own series of struggles throughout this series. And TSM's single firepower focused team was not enough for them to win this elongated series, giving it to TSM ultimately at the end of the day.
Yep, so this is going to be it. So the teams that qualified so far, I mean, pretty much what we've expected. A lot of familiar faces that we've seen in USN 2018. But with this almost coming to an end, we have the Eastern Conference coming up on Thursday. Like Blue has said plenty of times before, the signups are up. I want to see you guys in September. I want to see EG. I want to see more Parallax, Two-Face. I want to see you guys in the chat. Bring your teams, compete. Let's see how far you go. We've seen a lot of upsets recently. There's a lot more gameplay left to be had.
A lot more still to come, not only for Stage 2, folks, as we still have that final best of 3 that Belly was just mentioning. That's going to be Rise going up against SSG. At the same time, 2 a.m. Central European time, or that'll also be 8 p.m. or 5 p.m. if you're on the East and West Coast, respectively. And that'll be on Thursday, where we find our second team for this stage that will sneak their way through into our LAN finals coming up at the end of the year. And that will actually be the halfway point. We'll only have 4 more slots to give away after that. And all 4 of them will be decided over the course of Stage 3, as Stage 3 will also encompass our wildcard stage, which will feature 1 final bracket for each conference to qualify 2 more teams.
Yeah, so with that being said, we're going to jump into the MVPs shortly and take a look at the stats that's been happening on both sides. But, yeah, to me, it was Rogue. So you and I, we said that the problem with Rogue is that, you know, and a lot of other figures in the community, they say that, you know, it's too top-heavy when it comes to stats. You take a look at the end of the map, you see 2 players with, you know, 12 kills, 14 kills, and the rest are pretty much lacking. It wasn't like that this time around. We saw multiple players in double digits during a map, and that's exactly what they needed, and that makes Rogue one of the most scariest teams out there. The one thing I want to see from Rogue is just consistency and their pace and momentum. You know, we saw a lot of slow gameplay, saw a lot of fast gameplay. It's like, okay, you know your identity, choose it, and hold on to it. On LAN, it's not a question, but online, it seems like they struggle a lot more with that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just overall, they seem a bit, like, Rogue seems a little bit more consistent on LAN at the moment, just going off of, like, the past few months. It's interesting, though, because, like, they didn't have that great of a showing back at SI, so it's...
No, it's weird.
It's a bit worrying to a certain extent as they go into Raleigh, how they're going to perform again, but, like, the recent trends, especially when you look at Valencia, have looked really promising for Rogue. So... Yeah. Hopefully we don't see the issues online start to pop up on LAN and then that kind of snowballs against them. Hopefully we get, you know, Valencia Rogue, because they looked really strong and a team that could really be, you know, reckoned with when it comes to their performance at Raleigh potentially.
Yeah, and in regards to Team Solo Mid, a lot of standout players as well. I mean, they're so young, they're so new to this, and it's pretty insane. I've become a big fan of, not a big fan, I've become a big fan of Bio's gameplay. I'm going to say it like that. Not a fan of a player. But, yeah, we have an interview now up, so let's go ahead and see who it is. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Ranger.
Nope.
Oh, Slash, man. What's popping? Cute dog.
Yeah.
How you
Ranger's
doing?
not here today, so he had some family stuff to do.
All right, congratulations. And Ella, we heard your bark.
Yep.
So, you guys finally made it. The USN curse has been broken. This is it. Going against TSM, especially with Pojo Man sitting out, who were the players that gave you guys the most problems in these matchups?
Obviously, Achieved played really well that last match. He was super clutch for them, too. Not only did he have a lot of kills, they all had a lot of impact. Other than that, from the last time they played, they had Crazy on Hard Breach, so we knew there wouldn't be too much like strategical difference in how they played. So we basically just expected, you know, the same team, but with a little less coordination.
That makes a lot of sense. So, on your end, you guys lost Kafe. And before the map even started, I was disgusted that Kafe wasn't even an insta-ban. When was the last time you guys lost Kafe, and why the hell did you lose Kafe this time around?
It's been a while. I think a lot of why we lost it is we are saving a bunch of stuff on it for the major. So
Saving
a
strats.
lot of changes.
All right.
And also, I'm not gonna lie, we haven't played in 5 days. We've been taking, people have had family stuff to do. Bert's been taking care of some stuff that we've just been taking it easy before we go hard, like 16-hour days at boot camp. Just everyone relax, get everything they can done before, so you can focus on boot camp. But I mean, it's just how we play, to be honest. We usually suck the first map and then suck half the second map, and then we win. Like, if I know a lot of the Valencia games weren't streamed, but that's pretty much how every Valencia game went.
All right.
Rec, we lost 7-4 first map and went down 5-2 and then won the series. Same with Navi. So really, it's just us in the best of 3 system. That's kind of how we play, and kind of what we strive to do is just always know we can come back. Is just take all the info we're learning and use it to win.
Okay, so with the last question of the day, I peeked at the chat and all I saw was spam this globe to help Rogue. You guys have a crazy fan base, especially out there in Vegas. So hopefully the U.S. Nationals finals will be in Vegas once more. You get that hometown advantage. Say hey to your fans, thank them, say whatever you want. This is the closing part of this interview.
Thank you to everyone at Rogue and Rogue Nation. I peeped in at the Discord during that rehost, and I saw there was like 30 people watching the match talking about it. So I don't think any other team really gets that. They have other teams have a lot of supporters, but they're not as real as like the ones Rogue has. So those guys are really just they love it. Like, some people say they love it, and those people really love it. Yeah, I'm just glad we're done. We can't lose in USN quals anymore because we qualified. This is probably the hardest event to qualify for in my life, so I'm glad we're qualified, and that I don't have to play the qualifiers anymore. It's pretty much the biggest feeling right now is I don't have to play these quals anymore.
Yes, the USN curse hit you guys hard along with Dark Zero, Space Station Gaming, but whatever, you made it. We're happy for you. And with that being said, Slash Hug, I'll catch you at the USN Finals. Forever has announced that, and you have a good night.
Yeah, you too, man.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so that's it. Slash Hug, impact player from Rogue. You saw Ella. That's a cute dog.
That dog was zooming around, by the way.
I know.
There's like one point in the middle of that interview where just like a black dash, just like boom, like right across the screen. Yeah. Just, I was like, dang. All right, but here you go. You got the stats for both teams now, and you can see the stat leaders and players that as well. We're performing pretty well in this matchup. Slash, of course, I think having the highest stats. Actually, no, Achieve doing a little bit better, along with Buelow, both of them actually having slightly higher kills overall in the matchup. But as we very much know, that does not tell the entire story between these teams. Still a very close affair, and when you consider how long this series went on for, well, there's not much of a surprise that we see some pretty high kill totals overall. It's time to talk about our MVPs, however. In my case, I went with Slash for this one. I think that he was the driving force to be able to bring the team back into the match, especially in the midst of their second map right there. He was a key component to quite a few of the rounds that brought the team back into it. A little bit less so, especially at the beginning of map number 3, but I think we saw him have a pretty good performance in the second half and in overtime of this last map as well to help this team out there today.
It wasn't fair because that was going to be my pick as well, but the producer had blue pick before me, so...
As soon as you lose.
So I picked, Mr. Man himself. It's going to be... Okay, so I said Achieved if TSM won because Achieved was a beast.
Gotcha.
All right, it was going to be vertical, but I'm going to stick with Achieved. Achieved did great, man. He did really good for the losing team. So
for not winning, he did
shout
really
out
good.
to Achieved. Hey, he was the shining star in the dumpster fire. So of TSM losing that series. Pretty sad, but let's take a look at the overall stats, look at the kills. Pretty close from both ends. Opening kills, TSM obviously had more, which attributed to their dominance in the first map and also the first half of the second one as well.
You can see even things like clutches and just even the slightly higher plant total too, plays into the fact that the TSM seemed to bring a little bit more firepower to the table, but again, it just really drives home the point that Rogue is a really veteran team, has a lot to pull from, a lot of experience to bring out at the end of the day. And as a result of that, they are a very tough team to knock out when you get them in a full-length best-of-3 like that.
Yeah, I agree. So here at the Rainbow Six Nationals, here is our tournament overview. Sonics and Reciprocity won Stage 1 in the West. and East, respectively. But here in Stage 2, we have Rogue that moved on to be the Western Conference champions. Thursday, we'll crown one of the kings of the East here in Stage 2. We have 2 more stages after this, Stage 3, and then the wild card.
Yep.
Can't wait.
The wild card will be very short, folks. It attaches essentially directly to Stage 3, so make sure you're not relying on that in order to qualify if that's what you are waiting for. On top of all this action, of course, don't forget our weekly clip contest brought to you by Venmo. The Venmo Community Spotlight, where we're giving away $700 every single week through Venmo, so make sure to enter for your chance to win. We announce the winners every Monday on our Inside the USN show, so be sure to be submitting those clips to us. Upload them wherever you like. It just needs to be Rainbow Six gameplay. No limits necessarily on where or when the gameplay comes from. Make sure to upload it at the hashtag Venmo Community Spotlight, and also be sure to submit the clip at the link below my head right now at esl.gg/Venmo-R6USN. That link will also have all of the necessary rules for the contest on it.
All right, so that's going to be it. Remember, guys, Venmo blew it out. We're giving away $700 this weekend, so don't hit me up in the DM and say, hey, is it too late? Whatever. But with that being said, that's going to be it for the U.S. Nationals today. As usual, I'm Veli. This is Blue. We've had a blast. We'll catch you Thursday. We'll catch our last matchup for Stage 2.